What it do, guys? It's D'Anthony here, man, aka Hood Scout, back again for another edition of the Hood Scout podcast. And this is really a unique podcast, a podcast like no other. We're going to have athletes, we're going to have coaches, we're going to have intellectuals, we're going to have media members of all sorts. And don't forget, guys, to like this podcast, share this podcast, and help grow this podcast. This is not just my podcast. This is also your podcast. And the only reason it's going to grow is because you guys are going to be invested in it, guys. Sit back, get your beverage of choice ready, get your popcorn ready, get your dinner ready, get your steak ready, get your vegan meal ready. Tune in, guys. Hood Scout. Peace. Hey, what it do, world? What it do? Welcome back to another edition of the Hood Scout podcast. Today, I got a really great trainer, former ball player himself, joining me on the podcast. So I'm really excited about this one. And like I always do, without further ado, Coach, tell the people who you are and where you're from.
Man, my name is Margin Hooks. I'm originally born and raised in Waco, Texas.
So, Coach Hooks, man, well, before I even get started on where you're from, what's them jerseys back there, man? I see them hanging up. Tell me a little bit about that.
Man, those are my own jerseys. That's one of my Senior Bowl jersey from 2001 Senior Bowl, and that's my Miami Dolphins frame jersey. That's over on this side right here.
Good stuff. So, Coach, we got to chop this thing up. So, talk to me about growing up and what was that introduction into ball?
Man, I was like I said, originally I'm from Waco, Texas. Man, matter of fact, East Waco, Carver Park Edition. That's where I was. Football was kind of introduced to me, man. Crazy thing, I really didn't start playing until I was probably like 8, 9 years old. But I would see kids walk down the street with helmet and shoulder pads on. And I mean, it just sparked my interest. So one day, man, the kid came in, I put his helmet and shoulder pads on just to try them on. And he put them on, man. I had a ball, and my brother pulled him, my oldest brother. And I'm out there tackling this dude, and he got on pads. So my oldest brother, is actually my first football coach. So he took me and signed me up. And it started from there. When I was about like 7, 8 years old.
So was that back in your day, was that Pop Warner or something similar to that?
Yeah, it was like we just called it Little League. Pop, I don't know what it was called, but I'm 44 years old, so you had to get it how you get it. I mean, that's type where you go. It costs $25 to play, and they furnish you your helmet, shoulder pads. Some shoulder pads had socks in them to kind of fill in. They tie them up to tie the pads together. My mom was in charge of putting a stripe on the pants. At nighttime, we couldn't practice in the field, so we'd be in baseball field with the stickers and stuff, and there wasn't no lights, so your parents had to turn the headlights on the car so you could practice.
Wow.
And I was with the YMCA Elks. That's who I played for out of Waco.
YMCA, yeah, I know YMCA football. So when did 8th grade, high school? I guess we kind of can start at high school because that's kind of when it gets more serious. Walk me through that introduction to high school ball and what was that like? Who did you play for? And what's some memories about that time?
Man, it was funny, man, because, from Little League, we've always, as a young kid, I was always intrigued by the high school. We were fans of the high school game. I'm from Waco, so Waco High was the school back then. And we all couldn't wait to get to, we call it the high. So to get to the high, man, to play. So I went to middle school, I transferred, and I was a running back all through Little League and then middle school. True story, man. My 8th grade year, the assistant principal at the time, man, Mr. Clayton, put me up on the stage. We talking, and he looked at me and said, "Man, Joker, what you plan on doing next year?" I said, "Man, I'm gonna play running back." And he looked at me and was like, "Man, you're not gonna play running back. What you talking about? I've been playing running back all my life. You're too small." So he's like, "You got to play receivers. You don't make it." High story back, I think it was like 10 years ago, and I stopped him and I thanked him because I went from playing, running back, moved to receiver, and became, all district at receiver, all state at receiver, going to BYU to all conference, preseason All American, Senior Bowl, and making it all the way to the NFL, playing receiver. And it was people like that in my life that kind of instilled, some light in me, but also, just kind of foreshadowed my future.
Now, Coach, back then, especially in high school, I think that's a good age. Did you foresee a future in the game, or was it still kind of just something you did for fun and whatnot?
I saw a future,
Okay.
because everybody you dream of playing college, but I became numb because when it actually became a reality, I won't say I was afraid, but it was like, oh man, I can't. It's here. I got to make this
Yeah.
step. I got to leave home and go play now.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, when I was coming up, getting recruited isn't like it is now. You
How was it,
know,
Coach?
they didn't have, man. When I was a kid, coaches had to come to the school, had to look at film, come see you at practice, size you up. They had to show up to the games to watch you play, and they showed up to watch you play top teams. So it wasn't all the fan. There wasn't no huddle or no camps or anything. You had to be a dude. I tell you, most of my offers came my senior year. My first offer was BYU, which they offered me like after the third game of the season. And
What year we talking, Coach? Junior, senior
this was
year?
like as my no man, nobody get no offers their junior year. This was my senior
Okay.
year. They came out of school after my third game, and they offered me, right after the game, and which was a shock. So you have different schools coming by, the Texas, Longhorns, all different schools, you know, interested in you. But it wasn't, I think I had maybe three offers coming out of high school. Back then, that was a lot. I mean, I
Yeah.
was first team Super Syntax. I was a Super Syntax top recruit, all that type of stuff. But the recruiting game wasn't like that. It was regional, and it wasn't like a lot of teams. They didn't have the money to come through and recruit like they're doing now with so much money. So you had to be a dude, and they would come to your top games. I mean, when my senior year, my last game within the playoff, we played a team called Johntay, and they
Okay.
were like
Yeah.
one of the top teams. I mean, they won state the year before. So that game, you got to think they loaded with D1 talent. We have D1 talent. So we playing first round of the playoffs, and they beat us, I think, 37-31. The year before that, they beat us 19-14. So it was close games first round.
Hmm.
And I got like 3 or 4 offers right there on the field walking off. But I had a pretty
Wow.
good game. I mean, I had like 5, 6 catches, like 150 some yards, 3 tubs
Oh yeah. Oh
against
yeah.
top dudes. So you had to be that guy to get it. And it was a mindset. It was a mindset. I tell people, the kids I train now, their skill set are much more developed than not mine. I didn't have anyone like me to show me. People don't
Yeah.
realize I went through college and never had a receiver coach.
Wow.
I never had a receiver coach. I never
Wow.
had a coach to go in a meeting with to say, Hooks, let me show you how to do this. I didn't have one. At BYU, we had an OC who was supposed to be able to receive Norm Chow. All he did was hung around the quarterbacks. And we had Robbie Bosco, who was a quarterback coach. And I'm going to tell you who can vouch my story. Steve Sarkisian, who's the head coach at Texas, can vouch my story because he was the quarterback my freshman year when I went to BYU.
Now, Coach. Now we gotta stop because I want to ask another question about high school, but what you just said now caught piqued my interest. So was that the norm in college, or was that just how it was at BYU that time, or do you know?
I think it was a norm. I don't think it was a norm. I think at BYU
Okay.
was like that. Like some coaches, they had coach. I could have had anyone just to go over there and do a drill with me. So it helps me now because my training style is not based off of what some coach showed me or what some coach told me. It's based off of experience.
Okay, and then let's circle back. I want to hit on that high school just a little bit. What was the culture like around high school at that time, Coach? And I say that because now you have, of course, you got Dave Campbell, but it's just a lot of media attention now to where it's almost like a small college now with the media, the media attention. How was the high school game back then, as far as the hoopla, the fanfare, and the things of that nature?
I think it was pure in nature. It wasn't the social media. It wasn't that. It was pure, can you go play ball? A lot of things now are based off of hype
Yeah,
and perception of what you perceive someone to be. When I was younger, it's based off what you do on the field and who you do it against. You know,
yeah,
you can't just go do it against anyone and be like, oh, I'm this, and this. And then the big dogs come. I mean, true story, in high school, my best games came against ranked teams. My last 2 games against Temple High School, who was ranked. I went over like 150, 160 against them. John Tyler. So when the big boys came, I balled.
yeah.
Was no shadow. And I was on a running team.
Mm,
Waco High didn't throw it. We didn't have these quarterbacks. My quarterback didn't go to, I don't even think he played college ball.
yeah.
So this stuff was
What?
based off of just, hey, run a stop route, run a slant. We're gonna run play action. You're gonna drag. We got 2 1,000-yard rushers,
Yeah.
and me playing on the outside, and with the recruiting, I had to do something that was dumb. I have a state record that people don't even know about. I have a 104-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Wow.
That was the
Wow.
dumbest. That was the dumbest, best mistake I ever made in my life.
Why is that?
Because you're not supposed to field the ball inside the 10, a punt,
Oh yes.
so that they go over here, go into the end zone. I backed up. and we were playing Temple, and it was a game to see the winner of the game was going to the playoffs. And back then it was 5A football because there was a big school. It wasn't no 6A. It was 5A.
Mhm.
So I returned a punt, 104 yards for a touchdown, and I became like a kickoff return guru. And the coach never let me return kicks until that game. And I ended up
Wow.
like close to 300 yards return yards that game. And then they threw
What,
me a
what,
pass, and I was tired and dropped it.
Coach, now what would
Dropped
you
it.
say? What would you say was your specialty? Was you a speed guy? Had good hands? What would you say was your specialty even in high school?
I was a mixture. I had some speed. I wasn't a blade. I could run.
Hmm.
I could catch. I had an IQ, but then I have a mindset, a mentality with it. I don't care who it is. You're not gonna stop me.
Yeah.
I don't care who. And that's how my training style is now. I don't care who it is. You know. But I said, check my pet. I always tell people all the time, go Google me.
Yeah.
Now I talk more because I was building my brand, building what I was doing. Now I'm like, not only am I a trainer, go turn that film on.
Yeah.
Everyone can't say that.
Yeah.
And
Now,
as you
real
see the
talk.
jerseys behind, me, that's different
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And watch this. And even this one.
Yeah. What's that one, Coach?
Oh, that's my Tampa Bay, my rookie year.
Ooh, let me see how low. You might well do it, but show the rest of it. See, this the
This right
podcast right
here,
here.
this right here is my Senior Bowl jersey. Senior Bowl
Okay.
card right there.
Oh, that's nice. I
This
like
right
that.
here is kind of a little wall of fame. BYU, my 2,000 yards offensive MVP, most outstanding receiver in '99, my junior year, most outstanding strength condition. I was a weight room warrior. Miami
Wow.
Dolphins, my second year in the league, my Miami Dolphins jersey.
Wow. So this perfect, Coach. Oh, you got something
Right
else to show
here.
me? Okay.
BYU. That jersey is actually, the number's retired. Not because of me, though. I tell people it's because of me, but no, it's Ty Detmer with his number. So this is my
Oh,
jersey, BYU 96 through 2000. And I'm actually a Hall of Famer in Waco ISD Hall of Fame. This one I got enshrined in 2019.
that'll work. So that lead us right into college, Coach. So you get up, you sign to BYU. They offered
Mm-hmm.
you. What was your expectation, Coach? You a Texas kid going way up there. Let's walk through that college experience when you first got up there,
Ooh,
and let's go from there.
it was different because BYU is a different environment.
Okay.
It's LDS Mormon, in the mountains of Utah. I think I'm one of the first non-Mormon African Americans to get recruited to play receiver there.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
it was a little
what year
different.
we talking?
This is 1996.
Okay.
So 95, 96 year, I go to BYU. And I had offers, go to Oklahoma. I had Oklahoma, I had Texas Tech, SMU, New Mexico's. But I chose BYU because, first of all, I wanted to get out of Waco.
Okay.
I'm going to shoot you straight. Waco is not a place for a brother. I
Okay.
don't think I'd have been
That's
able to expand and grow to do what
let,
I
let,
need to do.
let me
And
stop you,
I
Coach.
thought bigger.
Why is that? Like when I say why is that meaning? Expound on what you mean by that, because I
By
like to keep
expanding
it
and
open on this
growing,
thing.
that means I have a certain mindset that I think certain people wouldn't allow me to do because I didn't look like what I was supposed to be looking like, and the mindset I had. And people don't realize that when I was recruited by Harvard and Yale. I was top 10 percentile of my class. I was National Honor
Wow.
Society. I had Brown offers, all that. I went
Wow.
to BYU. And the one
Now,
thing that I say about BYU, the most important thing I did at BYU, it wasn't football. It was graduating because I knew they didn't expect a person like me to graduate in 4 years. And I did that.
wow. Hold on, you just messed me up with that, Coach. Now, when you say that they didn't expect you to graduate, is it because you were kind of like an outsider coming into a school that
Man,
was
let's shoot
that?
me. I was a black man coming to an environment that was totally alien to what I'm used to. Coming from Waco, coming to BYU, Utah. I've never been in the mountains. I don't ski. A lot of kids didn't expect to make it because you have an honor code that you have to sign to go there. So a lot of kids, my sister, they would come in as JUCO transfers. I came in as a freshman. I had the grades and everything to get in there. And much respect to my head coach, man, Lavelle, that was legendary.
Yeah, legend. Yep. Yep.
That
I've heard
that
of him.
that took care of me, man. He was a real man, and he wasn't biased towards anything. And a lot of my characteristics I enjoyed, and I took took on some of the traits that he has, and how he approaches life. He treated me like a human, but he also asked questions. He didn't just put me in a box. He wanted to know about me, and
Mm.
he respected my outlooks on life, and I respected his, and we got along perfectly. He didn't expect me to change. I didn't expect him to change. But we respected each other. And I saw that in him, how he handled business on the field, how he took care of his family. Situations I had there, and how he kind of talked to me, talked to my parents. And that standpoint. So I was like, it wasn't no falsehoods or we're gonna do this, do that. That's one of the main reasons I went to BYU. He told me, hey, we want you here. Here's your name. He showed me a paper with my name on it. Your name is penciled in. It's yours. He said, go take trips to make sure you want to be here. Most
I
coaches
think
won't
that's
say that. They won't
yeah.
say that. He trusts himself so much and trust what he had there to go visit other schools. Go visit them and make sure
Yeah.
this school you want to go to. There are coaches now that won't do that.
Yeah. Did you, coach? Did you? That was a look. I like that. I like what you said. Did you go to other schools? Because see, to me, when you say like a Oklahoma or Texas Tech, to a Texas kid, those are pretty big schools. I'm assuming they were back then, which is over 25 plus years ago. Did you visit other schools, or did you know that's my choice and I'm not even gonna take those visits?
I visit, I visit, took a visit to Texas Tech,
Okay.
you know, and
How was
Baylor
that?
was right in, it was cool, man. It was different environment from when I went to BYU. I think Spike Dykes was the head coach there. Right now his son's the head coach at TCU. I got a story
Okay.
behind that too. People laugh at me. I'm like, man, look, sometimes by association you can get things. I just don't have that association. But
Ooh, hey, don't start nothing on this one, coach.
oh, one
No,
thing
I
I
like
always
it.
say
One
this:
thing about
what
that,
can
coach,
you
we're gonna
do?
be real honest. We're gonna be
Hey,
real honest on this podcast.
you can't fire me. You know
Yep.
why? Because I own it. My dad always told me that. He said, "John, you want to make your own rules, you own it. So what can you do to me? Fire me? You'll need me
Coach,
before I need you.
I did
Because
not
I
know
know
you were
one
gonna bring
thing.
this heat like this.
Now I used to be quiet, but now I speak because I have pedigree. I got years behind me now. Then I've shown consistency. I've put out numbers year in and year out, and I haven't said anything. Now
My
I'm just
goodness.
strictly business on how I handle things. And I'm a school teacher. You don't even know I'm a school teacher. This will be my 18th
Wow.
year teaching. I have 4 certifications as a teacher. But you would think because I'm part of the Texas High School Coach Association, they would pat me on the back because they packed their comrades when they move up to go to college and say, look how they worked up. No, I went through that. I coached junior high ball. I coached high school ball. And then I made my own business to be one of the top trainers, probably in the Texas area, probably in the nation.
Mhm.
I'm not even local. I'm on a national level, but no one would ever
Wow.
talk about that. But
Wow.
right now you have to hear me because you can't get rid of me. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Go tell a kid that pop's gonna come to me. You don't need to go to him. And think about the coach that's gonna tell them that and what they're gonna look like. And the way
Yeah.
society is set up now, people are choosing sides. So if you're a parent, are you gonna trust that head coach or are you gonna trust me, who's been doing consistently taking care of his own people?
Wow. Woo. My goodness. So my goodness, coach, this is a lot. We're 17 minutes in, and it feel like we just started. That's crazy. It feel like we just started. We already 20 minutes in. So, coach, so you Texas boy from Waco. You at BYU. You trust the coach. Walk me through that maturation process as a freshman, as a sophomore. How was it?
Man,
And,
my
and let me say
freshman,
this. Let me say this too, coach. Your coach, legendary coach, was he different than a lot of other coaches you've seen around at other institutions?
oh, definitely, man. He was more, he was so relaxed. The only other coach I can say that I've seen like that was Tony Dungy. I would
Mm,
watch Lavelle come out before games, and he would sit there and laugh and talk to fans. And some coaches so anal and stuff, like oh, I got to, like they playing.
yeah.
He was always relaxed. So as a team, you feed off of him. I took some of those characteristics when I coached. So like, coach, you always just laid back. I'm like, look, I taught you everything. If you go out there and mess up, it's my fault because I didn't put you in that situation to teach you that. Some coaches that yell at you and scream at you. Did you teach them that, coach? No. Coach, have you ever been in that situation before? Whoa, no. How did you move up to get this job then? Oh, your daddy knew somebody, huh? Guess my dad gave me his name. I'm a junior and said, son, if you want it, go get it. My dad owned his own business, so I own my own business. And training is not even
Wow.
a job to me. It's what I would do anyway. I enjoy being around kids. I enjoy helping them. It just so happened now is morphed into something different. And I've had to come have a more business approach to it because I'll be taken advantage of.
Mhm.
People pat me on the hat and take credit for things I know they can't even do.
Wow.
I like thing is I build them. Most people are looking for them and searching for them. It's like an Easter egg hunt. You got the adults, and they normally go put the money in the egg and go hide them. And then you got the kids go around and chase them and look for them. Isn't that what recruiting is? They chase and look
Wow.
for them.
Yeah.
I'm the mother goose. I lay the eggs and put the money in it to make you want them and shine them.
Wow. Wow, Coach. So okay, so that back to BYU. Wow. So you yeah, nah, cause this is good stuff, man. This is good stuff, and I didn't know it was gonna be this good. So yeah,
Hey, you're the
BYU.
first, and you're the first to get this information from me. Now I'm
Man,
talking.
man, a lot of people tell me that. And I don't know what it is, but a lot of people come on and they say, be like, they might say, I'm the first person that ever told this, and I'm grateful because I don't know what it is, but I'm grateful. Now you there with Sark. We know
Yep.
Sarkisian, head coach at Texas now, was assistant at Alabama, was assistant coach at USC, even with the
Mm-hmm.
Falcons, and I feel like one other team. How was that, Coach? What was y'all style, man? How was you able to become an All American and whatnot?
Oh man, well I never played. I redshirted that year. That year
Okay,
actually under start we went 14-1, number 5 in the
yeah, I
nation.
remember
I
that.
was able to watch a lot of those guys play. Some of those older guys. I was able to see how they approached the game and what they did. And see, okay, this is what winners like. And I got a newfound respect because I always tell people football is a racist sport.
Ooh,
Because
Coach. Okay,
hey,
why, how?
okay, look at how America is made. When you think of the physicality and the people that did the physical manual labor, you think of what people that look like us. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
So in football, those coaches that don't look like us, do they go recruit people that look like them in certain positions, or
No,
they go look people who look like us? So I
like
got
you.
kids that look like Caucasian white coaches, and they won't recruit them. Not to get mad at me, I'm like, hey, it's racist. Oh man, that's not fair. I like, but you know what? In life, if I could switch and let me just have the racism of football and not have it in everyday life, I would switch with you. Don't
Yeah,
football is all you complain about. Just think
yeah.
about the business I run now. This year, I have 7 All Americans. Last year,
Wow,
I had 5. Over an
wow.
8-year span, I'll have 24 All Americans. Look what you're hearing. Just think if I was somebody else and what people would be doing and what they'd be celebrating and what kind of pedals and what kind of, no, payments and money that I would get. I'll be on every commercial.
If
I
Coach,
know I would.
they'll be begging you to join their staff and
Mm-hmm.
giving you their money.
Yeah. But again, my dad, hey, he was self-employed, drove his own truck. My mom was a school teacher. They weren't in that hot spot to say, hey, let me just usher my kid in and go ahead and just put this on him. And I have my perspective on that. It's a lot of perspectives I've had. People like, man, you're different how you approach it. I was like, what are you gonna do? Fire me? You're gonna go tell the kid, I don't want you to go to Coach Hicks. Guess what that parent gonna do? Man, I'm gonna go over to him. He taking care of the kids.
Yeah,
Let's see how he is. When they see it, it's very organic. But back to BYU, just seeing that team gel, looking how they have handled the business. I learned a lot about the game and the approach of it. I learned how to respect the game with it. I had no one to show me how to play. It was like trial and error. Every year they tried to find. When I first started playing, my redshirt year, I was rotating with another guy. And by the 4th game of the season, true story, we played SMU at the Cotton Bowl. The coach benched me. I strained my hamstring the week before that. We were playing Arizona State, strained my hamstring. They weren't going to even let me travel. The
mm,
trainer had to do extra massage. I mean, I'm going home. This is how this
yeah,
stuff was. Like they was like ready to disown me because I had an injury. So we get there, I'm riding the bench, man. My homeboys in the stands with the Cotton Bowl. My parents looking like, man, he ain't touching the field. So it got to the point the coach was looking for a player. Coach Norm Chow, who was the OC. Norm
yep,
Chow, man, USC national
yep.
championship. Phillip Rivers at NC State. Him, he benched me and played. Matter of fact, the guy he put in front of me to play, the guy he played who I was rotating with, he's the OC at BYU now.
Oh
But
wow,
he ended up being my backup
yeah.
after that game. So they looked for a player, somebody injured, and he put me in. And I went in for that play, pulled me out. He couldn't find nobody else. So man, come back in. So I never will forget the play. It was like red right 63. I had a backside on the right. I was an X, so it's like red left. So I lined up on the right, as an X, ran a post route, a dig on the backside. It was cover 3, outside shade, but the cornerback he's bailing. I stick my post. The the safety in the middle of the field squats because he sees the dig coming from the opposite side. Quarterback throws overhead, 40-yard touchdown. Boom. That game, that right there, it was a close game. I think that game, that tied us up because we were losing. That tied us up. I go to the sideline and Norm tells me, never piss me off again. Because that's his business because I pissed him off. See, that's the type of stuff you hear. People don't realize. But he don't realize I was pissed at him. Scored. Ever since then, I've never seen the bench again.
Coach, let me ask you this, Coach. Is it, you said something about him being mad. Is it like a power struggle thing?
It's a power struggle.
Else?
I think it is sometimes. Sometimes I wasn't the guy he recruited.
Okay.
He didn't recruit me. When I got to BYU, they thought I was a DB.
Oh.
Why you think they thought I was a DB? There wasn't no receiver that looked like me.
Yeah.
Even Steve Young came to practice with on the ball, and he asked my position as a receiver. He's like, we finally got one of y'all.
Wow.
See, stuff like that people don't know.
Wow.
And every year they recruited, and they were pumping up every receiver they brought in. And I'm sitting there acting like I don't even exist. Oh, this guy's going to be the next guy. And all they did was piss me off even more.
Yeah.
And then my sophomore year, my redshirt sophomore year I was playing, I ended up like 40 some catches, I think like 48 catches, something like that, close to 800 yards receiving, 3 tubs. That's my sophomore year. And they do an awards banquet. They gave the top receiver award to a guy that had 12 catches, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And how many did you have?
I had close to 800 yards receiving, won the top in the conference as a redshirt sophomore.
Now that had to make you feel a certain way.
Oh, I was pissed. The coach, Norm Chow, looked at me and he just smiled. Like now I told you I was going to get you. The East Waco came out then. I was so pissed. I went to his house after hours to go find him. Oh, I wasn't going to be no negotiating and talking about, hey, let's talk this out. Oh, you want to act a fool? All that AP student, all that, don't misjudge my smiling glasses. Because I'll come get you. I ain't a fool. I used to love Tupac. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. He pushed me. I knocked on the house. He didn't answer. I'm blessed that he didn't. Who knows what I tried to do to him?
Yeah.
His wife found, she looked at me like, because it's different. A player coming to your house after hours, knocking on the door, man, where your husband at? I ain't even calling him by name no more. Where's Norm? You ain't even coaching me no more. You're disrespectful. So I'm gonna disrespect you. I told you I'm a respect you, but I'm gonna demand respect. But when you get out of line, my job is to put you in line. And I'm blessed, man, to have a dad that I have. Man, my dad could tell how pissed when I called him. And the next day I went to the meetings. They have coach offensive meetings. They're in the meeting planning. It's at the end of the season. So I walk in the room. I walk in the office. I'm looking at it, and I say, Norm here. Are they in the offensive meeting? So also the secretaries looked at me and she said, come here. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, no, you have a different look in your eye. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, no, you look different. Don't do anything you're gonna regret. So I busted in the meeting. Now remember, this is D1 college style. I didn't care. I'd have flipped the table on everybody. I don't care if you'd have been in your mama's funeral. It'd have been towed up. That's how pissed I was. Because I was always nice. I'm always that quiet guy. And I said, don't mistake that though. Because when I come get you, I'm gonna get you. I ain't gonna stop till I get you. So I walk in the meeting, all the coaches are like, oh wow. Because it's different now. Now you got this black man who pissed. And I'm quite sure you ain't never seen this before. This ain't BET, this is live for you, baby.
Yeah.
I called him out, put it like this, short story. That next season I had next season, 60 catches, close to 1,200 yards receiving. I won top receiver in the nation. I didn't even have to practice no more. But my dad called Lavelle Edwards and he asked, he said, man, just think if your son had done the things and accomplished the things my son has. And he was done that way. He put it on a dad's perspective. That's why I respect Lavelle. Because he looked at it from my dad's perspective. Like, yeah, man, your son's coming into a whole alien area. He's African American, he's not Mormon, and he's accomplishing things. And he's taking care of the classroom, he's not in the street, keeping his nose clean. He's respectful. And for that to happen, and my dad knew, because he had never heard me like that. He knew, okay, let me diffuse this, because he's different now. I was thinking like a football player. I mean, I'm gonna go through your throat. I'm not gonna hide. You're gonna see me coming. Mm-hmm. And Lavelle pulled me to the side, man, put me in his car, talked to me. kind of calm situation now. And they knew then. I said, it's sad that I had to go that route.
Yeah.
To get the respect. It's
Let,
sad,
let,
but
let
sometimes
me.
you got to. Sometimes you got to roar, huh? Sometimes you got
That,
to roar to shake some people
yeah.
up. Like, okay, he just might snap, and that's how I am now. Even with training, I see stuff, I don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, you saw these jerseys. I've done it. I've been
Yeah.
out there. I've had to separate the shoulders in the middle of the game, snap it in, give me a shot, and I still go play. I played with
Yeah.
the fractured wrist, the MCL, everything, taking painkillers, getting shot up to play. I've been there. So the mindset behind this, it ain't about, oh, can he run around? What's your mindset? By all
Yeah.
means necessary. Can you go, and that's life. If you're a husband, if you're a father, whatever it may be, if you're a caretaker, mother, can you make it happen despite the situation? Can you be an amoeba, being able to adjust to the environment, to you don't have to be loud with it, but make it happen. Just quietly be loud. That's what I call it, where they can't deny you. Where it's like, yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
And still be humble enough and gracious enough to, hey, it's not, it's things that I'm blessed with. It's people around me that sometimes gave me that pat on the back, said, man, you're gonna be okay. That's helped me throughout life in general. So I feel like it's my job and duty to do the same for other young ones coming through. You know,
Yeah.
my thing is I tell every kid, I just want you to be successful. Success doesn't always mean, oh, you score a touchdown. Sometimes success to me, did you help somebody else?
Mm.
That's called legacy. Did you help somebody else? And training,
Yeah.
if you come to me, you know, yeah, you come to me, you might be fast and run, but did I did I maximize you? Do you still
Mm-hmm.
look the same when you left me? Did I change you for the better? Not use you because you're talented, but was I able to harness the talent that you have, and put it in a certain zone, a certain way to maximize it where you can go have a great future? Because a lot of guys are athletic who can run, jump, but they're not necessarily going to be skilled. And I say I love on Saturdays, I don't train past 12 o'clock because I go watch all my kids play. I watch
Mm.
them all on TV. I turn it on. They mess up. I'm DMing them in the middle of the game. And crazy thing, Johntay Cook asked me the other day, he's like, Coach, how you going to watch all these dudes in college? I'm like, man, I don't know. I figured it out. I have a couple TVs on my phone, the computer, just to show their support, And I tell you, man, it's like I'm a proud papa sometimes. I look at it and I'm
Yeah.
seeing these kids when they were 8th grade, 9th grade. And now when they come home and we can talk on that level where they say, we understand what you were saying a long time. We didn't at first. But the fact that we know now that, yeah, you in line. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Hey, coach might have.
Yeah.
Coach. Okay.
So
Okay.
So yeah, it's I enjoy that, man. Just enjoy being able to see them be successful, see their parents be happy. You know, being able to accomplish things, seeing how the youth are, just going towards them. I say, and then you're an example. You're a role model. That everything you do, everything you watch and say, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the one thing that I enjoy, just being able to see how you started and then how you're ending up.
Yeah. And you said something powerful too, coach, about just even going back. And you said a lot, so we still got a little bit to unpack. But it was a player out of Ohio State. I don't think he was a star player, but he came out this past year and talked about his feelings, and he probably rubbed a lot of people the wrong way about he felt he was getting used up, and they didn't really care about him. And I say that to say, to me, a lot of people don't understand that side of football. And it was fascinating to hear this. To hear it is 2021 because that was last year. This young man say that, and it's like that's even rare. You don't hear guys being truthful. I guess in his case, maybe he felt like he didn't have nothing to lose. So when you saw your story, that kind of made me think about that. But pivoting back to football, and I think it's too, coach. It's good that you can be real with some of these guys because, like I said, you're not using them. You've been there, and you can give them that real deal. That speaks to you. You said something earlier. I want to go back to, coach. You said you was a weight room warrior. Speak to that. What did you mean by that?
Man, when I was in high school, man, I went to college, I weighed 155. I was like
Ooh,
5'10", 155. I got there in July. We didn't get to go early. Like now, they going in June. I didn't get to
yeah.
go to like August. Mid
Ooh,
and we had the pigskin class and then I got to go then. So I'm a little bitty dude, so I go into the strength conditioning coach, and I tell people all the time, you go to college, the guy who's more important than anybody on that staff is the strength conditioning coach. And that guy's name is Chuck Stiggins, and he put me through it. But then my body started to change and form. So I got there in August, I was like 155. By October, end of October, I was 185. By March, I was 200 pounds.
Whoa.
I mean, my body just morphed. It morphed just like boom. I mean, you're eating differently. You're getting different foods. You're not eating well, we didn't have hot Cheetos then. We had them hot fries. We had the hot fries and the Dr. Pepper and a jungle juice or something. So we were eating better then.
Well, what was y'all eating, Coach?
BYU.
Yeah.
Man, that's all they did was feed you. Man, we were getting D1 football. I'm telling you, D1 meals like at big schools, you ain't starving at all. I mean, you're eating steaks, whatever type of fish you want. You got a chef there. You got the salad bars. You got that. And I'd be so hungry then. I'm living with these kids now with NIL money and then their scholarship checks. I wasn't getting all anything. I was getting empty sandwich bags and putting you had a sandwich meat. I was putting all sandwich meats, all the meats inside of a bag, getting a big cup of milk. So I taking cereal out so just I can eat at home because you be hungry. And people say, "Oh, you're in college." I'm like, man, look, tell you how broke I was. At BYU, my jersey was sold. I couldn't even afford to buy it. So I would go to the mall. My mom, I would take pictures beside it, the mannequin.
Wow.
So it's things like that. I laugh at it and I say, man, now that players are getting paid, they deserve it.
Yep.
Because all you are is one injury. Once you get injured, the coach is not paying no attention to you anymore. They can push you to the side. Some are genuine with you, but it's a business. And it's a business winning. If you can't help them, watch this. I'm putting respect. If you can't help them keep their job, keep their money, keep their wife and their kid happy, you don't matter. So now as a kid, when you go in there, you better make sure you're taking care of your future wife, future kid by getting what you want right now. Don't wait till later because they're not waiting till later. They got their money now. A lot of coaches getting big contracts and haven't even proved anything yet. They going on the hopes that you will. So how they going to tell you is, okay, we hope that you will do this. It's business. And business-wise, they're going to try, okay, we want this kid. What is the way? We don't want to pay him. It's like a business, man. How can I get this for a cheaper price? That's life in general.
Yeah. And kids better know that.
Yes. And even with me right now, I'm in the sun all day with these kids. Now tell kids who out here with us now? No one. Think about that. You're going to go to school and your name they're going to put a label on you. It's like, I always put it to any trainer, that's training kids and doing it at a high volume and doing well. It's like you're Boeing. Boeing is a manufacturer of airplanes. Mm-hmm. Delta doesn't make airplanes, do they? Mm-hmm. America don't make airplanes. United don't make airplanes. Spirit don't make airplanes. Where do they get their planes from? Boeing. Mm-hmm. And then they do what? They put their label. They put little trinkets on it. And then
make it like theirs.
Yes, make it like theirs. And then guess what? But thing about Boeing, guess what you got to do when you go to Boeing? You got to pay them for them planes. Am I right or wrong? Before you put your label on them.
Yep.
So as a trainer, think of how I'm thinking of myself. I get these kids in age. You don't even want them until they look a certain way. I've had coaches tell me, well, they need to be doing, they need to be twitchy, they need to be able to do this, and that. So what are you gonna do? If I done done everything, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And then I go look at their roster. And I'm like, well, coach, you recruited them. Remember, you recruited them and said these kids can play, you're gonna develop them. Why do they still suck? Why are they still on your bench? But you're supposed to be developing them. But then when you talk to me, you're not talking just to any Tom, Dick, and Harry. You're not talking to the Joe that's, man, I'm going to get these kids. I'm going to take some cones out here. You're talking to a guy that's been able to accomplish a few things in football. Yeah. No, I'm not an all-pro. I'm not in there by far. But, I'd have been in between. I put it like this. I've been in between the numbers and back. And people say, what do you mean by that? People that play football and play offense know what that means. You're not eligible on offense until you go inside the numbers and back outside because the receiver can just step on the sideline and be eligible. You and me know he's in the game. So until you've been inside the numbers, that's when you become. Have you been inside the numbers? Huh? What are you talking about? You ain't never played. Have you been out there on that college? Have you ever been out there to make that mistake with 70 or 80,000 cheering booing you? Have you been out there to take a chance to make the mistake? A
Wow.
lot of coaches haven't. They ain't never had that type of pressure situation. They haven't. It's different. And I tell kids all the time, this I can tell if you can play. I don't look at when things going great. I look at when you make a mistake and things going bad. How do you fight through it and bounce back? That's what I look for. When you take that big hit across the middle of the receiver, boom. Next time you go across there, are you looking at got your head on the swivel, or you going to get that thing next? What's your mindset? Like, what was yours? If somebody hit me, I'm gonna look up and say, what number is it? Why? Because I'm gonna get him back. See, back then, if we could hit, crack back, and do all that stuff, it was illegal. Now you can't. Then what? Oh
Yep.
man, look, I was gonna try to put his head through. You know what? I'm gonna go through his jawbone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get him. A lot of people don't even understand that. Like this conversation I have, everybody can't have that conversation. They ain't never been out there. But you can just go look up. Hey, numbers don't lie. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
I'm
You're
the
right.
5th all-time leading receiver in BYU history. Somebody said I'm the 5th greatest of all time, never played there. And I say, dang, if I'm that, and I ain't even have a quarterback that played in the NFL that I played with.
Wow. That's crazy. So, Coach, walk me through how was that senior year for you? Because you stayed out 4 years, correct?
Yeah, I played all 4 years.
How was that senior year for you?
That senior year, I was, man, on a Blitnikoff watch list. I was preseason All-American. I was coming out with the man. There was
How
the
did that
quarterback.
feel? Did you have a little bit more hoopla around you?
I did. A lot of hoopla, all this stuff, man. My jersey was being sold. I was the first black to have his jersey sold at BYU.
Wow.
And I couldn't afford it though.
And didn't get no proceeds from it.
No, man, not at all. You remember they didn't put night like on video games and stuff? I've been on like what is it? Game
NCAA.
Day? NCAA. Yeah. I've been the top player on BYU team. That all that stuff. And no, don't get no proceeds. And it's like you didn't think about that though. It's like, man, go play because it wasn't there. But I'm glad these players are getting it now.
Yeah.
You line up. I told someone, man, I would get hit so bad sometime, and I'd be on painkillers. I'm a new true story. I think, it was my senior year. I don't know what year it was. And I was supposed to go do an interview up in Salt Lake. It was about 40 minutes from where I lived, in Provo. And I woke up, I was highly medicated. I was hurting. And I'm looking, I told him I'd do an interview with him. And I'm like, they're like, Morgan Hoops will be in the studio in 5 minutes. And I'm laying in my bed like, huh? Oh, man, I ain't going nowhere, man. My shoulder's killing me. I can't do this stuff. And, you're forgotten. You're just in the house by yourself after that game is over with. And every college player can attest to this. It's some lonely days, lonely nights.
Is
sometimes
that mental strain, Coach? Can that produce kind of some mental strain?
It can,
Okay.
Sometimes you just want to be by yourself.
Okay.
I would take walks and stuff. Sometimes just get together, because everybody thinks all this stuff is easy. Man, you got the pressure to produce every time you're on the field. When you're a teacher, I can have some off days, and no one says a thing. When you're a college player, you got an off day. You're on ESPN. People analyzing you, trying to pick apart your game. Like, oh, he needs to work on this. He's this. He's that. Y'all don't go to the bank teller and tell them how they need to get their game together. So therefore, you need to pay. If you're gonna do that, these players deserve to get paid.
Yeah,
they deserve that money. You're gonna get ridiculed and talked about. And I used to tell people, I used to sit in the stand, in the games and look up like, man, if I could pass a bucket around with my name on it and just half the people in the stands put $1 in there, you can keep your scholarship money. Let me have this. It's 60, 70,000 in the stands. Just give me that 30,000 a game. 6 games, that 180.
College making good money.
Man, look, you heard I said just put $1 in the bucket. Just think I could have done that. Or any player.
Yeah.
Your friend to put $1 in there. They still put 10 in there. Boy, look. I'm like, man. But it wasn't like that. But I used to think that way. Because I used to
even back then.
I'm like, yeah, like, man, they paying this much to get in the game, which is probably like $35 was down. They probably paying 100, got suites and everything now.
Easy.
So I would think that way, And then you look and see who's sitting in the press box and running around getting to eat all the good food. And I'm like, them kids clumsy. They ain't even genetically built to even run and play football. But look what they get to do, oversee it. But look at America though, ain't it how it's made?
But Coach, you just said something powerful, and I was gonna hit on this while ago. Even with the people commentating on the players, this guy couldn't run a 5.10, and here he's talking about what you got to improve. And don't you know what I'm talking about? Here's a guy in the studio ain't never ran track in his life, and he talking about you slow. It's like it's a dynamic there if you can see it.
Yeah, I call it bullfrogs.
Yeah.
As players, when I went to LA, I just did the thing with Steve Clarkson. I went out to the QB retreat, and they flew like myself out and my family. They flew out, you know, 5 of the top receivers I have. I think Johntay Cook went, his family. Ashton Kozart went. Kyle Parker went. Braylon James was come out too. Noble Johnson flew out. So we're in Santa Monica. And it's all these top players. You got Brennan Ennis, you got the Tate kid. It's a lot of dude top receivers out there. There's like a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they flew me in to be the guest receiver coach to work with them and all that stuff. And it was cool, man. It was just cool to talk to those guys, kind of get their perspective on things. And I'm sitting there watching, but I'm looking outside at the kids that possibly couldn't even afford to get in this thing, who I knew were going to be the next Johntay Cook, the next Brennan Ennis. But the people who was able to afford to go, I'm sitting there like, these kids not even the most athletic. These kids don't need this. They just fortunate because they have money and they got the connection to get in here. Then I'm looking at all these people going around and advising all these top players, with cameras. Hey, man, you got to be careful with this. I call them bullfrogs. People are like, have you ever seen a bullfrog's neck? It comes from the chin. It's a big piece of meat right here, and it's big.
Yep.
And you look at them, man, you can't even, you can't play dead in the Western. What are you advising? Because I tell kids all the time, I'm like, what does he tell us? Man, be careful. Like, they'll invest money. Hey, man, we're going to give you $20,000. They'll turn around and make $2 million. All you got is $20,000.
Easy.
Be careful for the bullfrog. Be careful for this. If you weren't who you are, would they come talk to you and advise you? Wait for that dude on the corner who just needed a drink of water to get to the bus stop. They give you that money to help you. No, they're talking to you now because of what you can offer them. They want to be associated with you.
And Coach, I wish these players, of course, when you get good, it's gonna come with territory, and you got to see through it. But I wish that the players could see it. And I guess to me, some of them don't because they like a little adulation. You know what I'm saying? If a reporter or something seems reputable, you like it. But it's like, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, but it's just like you got to read through it because they about you now. But what if you turn your knee up? Only your family gonna care.
Yeah. Be careful. I just say be careful with that stuff. Be careful of who you're taking advice from. Like I told a kid this. I was at a workout and I said, man, if you need an open heart surgery, would you let me do open heart surgery on you?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, no. I like, why not? Man, you ain't never done that before. You ain't never cut nobody. I said, no. But what if my dad did it and I kind of hung around the office with him a lot of times and I was able to clean up the utensils he used? Every now and then he let me write something down or maybe hold a heart or something like that. Maybe you wouldn't let me do it. But no, because you're still not experienced enough. How would you know that? Because I'm going to look everything up. All right, now check the coaches you have now. Check their background. You let them coach you in football. You're like, dang, they never look at it like that.
Yeah. Wow. Coach, I want to ask you this. What was, because I'm a reader. I like, and I think we similar because I like the mental side of stuff. What was that? I think you said Provo, Utah. What was that area like? I mean, did you go out on the town much, or were you isolated? How was that?
No.
Okay.
You can't go out on the town because you got all those rules and regulations, man. You got the honor. Okay, let me tell you what the honor code is. You sign off on this waiver. They seen this when you register for school, apply to school. They seen this honor code, and it's rules that you have to follow, and you have to sign it. Like it's like no premarital sex. You can't have a beer. You can't drink caffeine. You can't all this type of stuff. All these rules that they have. So the first time they sent it to me, I kind of screwed. I didn't even write my name clear. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna do all this stuff. They sent it back to me, told me to write legibly. So when you get there, it's like when they recruit and say, okay, you got a few rules you got to follow, but don't worry about it. You get there, it's like, dude, it's like a nice prison. I mean, It's like, man, it's different. Like if you live in a dorm, they have visiting hours for the opposite sex. Like only on Sundays and Wednesdays, the opposite sex can come in, and you have to be down in the foyer in the front office, but then like in the lounge room for the opposite sex. See, they couldn't come up to your room, or if they came up to your room, I swear there was a gap up under the door that was like 3 inches. So they would have a rule say, okay, everybody's feet got to be on the ground if another girl's in the room. And I visiting hours was like from 7 to 9 o'clock, and everybody had to leave. Even if you had an apartment, it's called BYU approved housing, where they had security out there. We call them yellow coats. But the security wasn't to protect you. They was to make sure there wasn't no girls or wasn't no guys in another female apartment. But that was the rules they had there at BYU. Again, it's a Mormon society.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I was like, okay. I stick out like a sore thumb. I'll tell you, I'm the only meatball in the rice. I swear there was only 10 blacks on the team.
And this is in the 90s.
This is 96 2000 BYU.
That's crazy.
The
That's
thing is,
crazy,
I mean,
coach.
they recruit region, they recruit the religion and region at BYU.
Okay.
Now, the year I went was the most African American non-Mormon they'd ever recruited, and we went
Okay.
14-1 in the nation. January,
Right.
February, they kicked everybody out of school. They kicked the dudes out of school. Because the thing is, it was like you're guilty to prove innocent. So, say for instance, somebody have a camera or some girl, let's go to the honor code. Hey, I messed around with this guy. Well, they're not going to investigate. They just going to basically say, hey, you guilty, and you got to prove yourself, and you can't. You're alien to everything that they believe in. So then what they do is, okay, we're gonna suspend you for a semester and all this, and then we're gonna let you come back. But some kids come from different environments. So if you send them back home, what are they gonna do? They're gonna, I
Facts.
mean, that what? How is that helping them? That was
Mm-hmm.
the one thing. It was an article written in my senior year. I'm like, man, I know religion. I said, normally I thought, God, they believe in forgiving, but forgiving and getting rid of are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you was on that field running, all y'all were happy.
Yep.
I mean, put it like this: I was in the locker room once, and a teammate got put off the team. I didn't even know it until we were sitting in the locker room, and his locker was in there. Well, I saw another instance where a guy got put off the team. It was on ESPN and everything. Want me to tell you the difference between those two?
What was that?
One was black and one was white.
Wow.
I didn't know the white dude was suspended until I got in the locker room. His locker was in there. But if somebody looked like me, we was all on ESPN with a mugshot and everything.
My
See,
goodness.
now I'm just being honest, but people are like,
Now
what?
you
I said,
are.
no, I'm just being truthful. Like the head coach here, the head coach of BYU is Kalani Sitake Fafita. They'll be in the Big 12 next year.
Yep.
He and I were team captains together. He'd look at him like, I'm more than lying. It was different. So for me, I'm gonna tell you, for me to graduate from BYU was huge. That
Yeah.
was more of an accomplishment than anything in football. Because I went 4 years there and I made it through. I never got sent to the honor code or anything like that. I learned how to survive. Not survive, I learned how to thrive and compromise in situations.
Yeah. Let me ask you
You
this,
know,
coach. It was is Provo, is that, I know it's probably a college town, and of course Mormon. Would you say it's also would you say it is a affluent town as well, or a fluent
it
university?
well, it is, and going there for me was very helpful because you learn about different people. You learn how to adjust, but then also those people, I guess they learn from me too. Like, I'm not a bad guy. I'm actually a good dude.
Yep.
We have different aspects on religion. This is all the same in how y'all perceive everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to help people out. You want to help people out. And that's the one thing I learned. I said, man, those were probably the most genuine people I've been around. My neighbors were great. Just then, you had that environment on campus where everybody's looking at you. But oh man, it was a friendly area. I knew it was different. I know they probably was friendly with me because I played football. They knew
True.
who I was. And they kind of helped out with that. But it gave me a chance to learn about something, different people, different religions. It's kind of everybody has their shortcomings in life. Don't think because they don't have no problem issues. Everybody have problem issues,
Yep.
you know. But how can we get by? How can we help each other with those problem issues? How can you help me? How can I help you? You know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I am, man. How can I help you? What do
Mm-hmm.
you need? You know.
Let me ask you this, coach. And we'll probably wrap it up right as far as this college thing kind of continue. But what out of your college career, what games do you remember? Do you remember any games going on the road? Do you remember any atmospheres that stood out?
Man, I remember the most hyped up game I played. We played my sophomore year. We played Alabama and Tuscaloosa at Ryan
How
Dillon
was
Stadium.
that?
The first game ever played there. ESPN.
Wow.
Man, you talking about loud. It's ESPN. Everybody there. You know, Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Corso, all the dudes. I mean, it's live and just being in that environment and seeing, because as a kid I didn't have cable. We had TBS channel 12, so they would show the SEC. I was the Ole Miss and Alabama, and I'd always see that elephant run out, and I said, man, I always wanted to see that elephant. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like a little kid when that elephant ran out in front of him. Man, I was so geeked up, like a man, look here, like a little kid at the candy store. Oh man, I remember that, my little kid. Then I realized, oh man, I gotta play a game. you know
Yeah.
got to ride with it. So that right there, that environment, being in that, man, I've never been anything like that. Also, cool, scoring my first college touchdown in Dallas. That was a big thing for me. Just being in those types of games, man, and just playing the team we played, the SEC, back then it's called the Pac-10, all tight, just seeing that and going into those stadiums, playing Syracuse, Virginia, I played against Florida State, Alabama, Washington, Arizona, you name them. I played against them. And playing against those guys, and when you get older and having that respect when you talk to them, it's like a sorority. I mean, not sorority, but like a fraternity,
Mm-hmm.
where everybody can't go talk to dudes like that, but they had a respect for it because you played against them,
Yeah.
and sitting there and being able to talk to them, laugh and talk, about different things in college and kind of looking at these guys now and then trying to give back and help them. We didn't have people like that when I was young to help us through some of this stuff. So I'm in a position now where I can, and other guys are too, to help them throughout the transition. I get more phone calls about just life in general from my guys in college than football.
Mm-hmm.
Just how to cope with different things, different situations, handling coaches. I had a college coach tell me, Hooks, don't be you giving them cheat sheets, you tell them everything gonna happen. That's my job. To
Yeah.
make the transition easy for them, not them to have to struggle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them this is the coach trying to do. This is what you're trying to do. This is how you approach the coach. And he was like, man, you tell him a mouthful though. I said, yeah, have a briefcase mentality. It's business. Like you
Yep.
go in, the coach gonna have notes, right? Write notes, tell you what he want. I said, when you go in, you have your expectations and notes, and you have him dot and cross this. So now it's expectations, give and take. Coach, I'm gonna do everything you want me to do. I'm gonna dot all my I's and cross all my T's. But this is my expectations when I do this. I mean, I'm gonna do this first.
Yep.
But now with that portal, now
Mm-hmm.
you can hold them accountable. If you don't do this, I'm out.
Yeah.
Now it's an even
Yeah.
playing field. No BS
Yeah.
now, because they'll bounce
Yeah.
on you.
It is funny how
And
the fans get mad at that, which is that's a power thing too. But the coaches can do it. They can leave. I want to ask you
yeah,
this, Coach. I didn't mean to cut you off. What type? You can answer this if you got another point. You can answer it out there. How was those workouts like, man? You say you got big. I know part of it was nutrition, but what type of workouts is that college atmosphere was back then?
woo, man, hell, dude. Put it like this: I didn't have a job. I mean, I didn't have my parents didn't have the money to just give me money. So most of the kids now have the scholarship check, so they can go work out, do all this stuff. I don't worry about it. I would go at 6 in the morning to do my workout. You know, my trainer, who was a head training coach there now, Justin, man, he would bring me in. All I would get is an orange juice and a Snicker. I just need
Oh
sugar,
wow.
and I would go to work 6 in the morning. I'm gonna see it's me and him getting it because I'd have to leave early and go clock in. And I was a janitor. I had my first job at on campus was a janitor. I had to clean the dorms during the summer, and then when I got done cleaning the dorms, I would go to class. So a lot of those players wouldn't see me. They would always think, man, he's just naturally like that. He don't even show up to work out because I had to get there early because I didn't have money to do all that kind of stuff. So I had to go work for real, then go to class, then come back done, run a couple of routes and stuff with off season, all that kind of stuff. So and
Wow.
it is you have to be very disciplined, for that kind of stuff. And I pay those to my parents, they kind of instill their work ethic in me. If you want it, you got to go do this, you got to go get it. And BYU just helped me, man. They nourished that part of me. To get someone to be there early with me and do that work, and people always thought it was no, he just show up to it every now and then he just show up to the field. And they would tell me, no, man, Martin's in here. When y'all not here, y'all still sleeping and he's in here getting the work in. But it was that
What was he
motivation.
doing, Coach? Was it like more so running, weight training, or
Man, it was
combination?
weight training, running, everything. Man, I was squatting like after my freshman year, I was squatting 540. I was
Ooh.
bench pressing 340. I was
Oh
cleaning
yeah.
over 300. I was doing it all, man. It was, cause the game I had to play, I didn't have anyone to teach me how to release and do all this stuff. A lot of stuff, man. I tell kids, I didn't know what I was doing. I knew this thing. If I get the ball, I was gonna come down with it, and the first two people are not gonna tackle me.
Yeah.
Whatever, I don't care if I got the donkey kick them or what. I'm gonna get what I need to get. You
Yeah.
know, and I no, if I gotta block them, like you say, I'm gonna try to pick them up, dump them on their neck. I'm like, why is that, man? One thing about block, if they're on the ground, you ain't got to block them no more.
Hmm.
They start laughing. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to chase you across the field and do all that kind of stuff. Now that I got older, I got more savviness. I tell some of my kids, you got to learn how to pace yourself in a game. It's not everything's not full speed. You got to know
Yeah.
how to pace, know when to do it, and the time and place to do it. And it takes time. And that's something that just happened my freshman year. Freshman year, first play of the game, I'm full speed. Not
Hmm.
knowing what I'm doing. I'm running wrong ways, quarterback getting hit. I mean, dude, I remember my first game like this yesterday. and the things that happened in that game. We opened up, we playing like top 10 team next, Washington Huskies at home on ABC. My first college game. And it's like, dude, I ain't never seen no people this big. They were
I bet I was
huge.
just about to say, that. I bet they were big, boy.
Man, they were huge. Man, I
Yeah.
remember a dude named Lester Towns. I caught my first pass was like a scream. And I swear he slapped me in the back of my neck. And I hit the ground. Snot came out of my nose. I'm like, God
Wow.
dang. Welcome to D1 ball. Why?
Yeah.
Because I was in between them numbers. And can't
Yeah.
nobody tell me I'm getting hit and coach talking about toughen up. Man, you ain't never took a hit like this. Coach, shut up.
Real
Man,
talk.
that guy, you got this job because your daddy, you was able to find enough good people to put around you to make you look good, think you know something. And they be mad when I say that. They be like, man, come on now. But yeah, man, it was an experience that first game. But I enjoyed it, man. It was like that first game was like, I made it.
Yeah.
You know, the little dude in East Waco, the little skinny one, you know, everybody told me I wasn't gonna do real mountain nothing, you know. My brothers were all bigger than me, you know. They were all stayed in basketball and track, you know. And I'm the knuckleheads and I'm gonna play football. And here I am on national TV playing.
Wow.
This boy from East Waco, Hood and Lennox Street. I'm here.
Yeah.
Not because somebody gave it to me. No, I wouldn't earn this.
Yep.
I'm starting. You know, I'm rolling. I'm rotating in the starting formation. I mean, starting, you know, but, you know, that lasted 4 games. And then I took over the whole thing. I ain't never rode the bench since. I'm always going to be a starter. You know,
Yeah.
so, and I tell people it's a mindset and mentality. You know, the work isn't hard. You know, I hear the guys in college, man, this stuff hard. Coach, you got to do this. And I'm like, shut up, man. That stuff easy. Man, coach, you
Yeah.
don't understand. And they look at me like, oh, bad, my bad. You got to respect. Yeah, you did this. Yeah,
Yeah, you did it.
I
Probably was
did
harder
that.
back then too.
Man, look here. I don't even know, man. I look all this stuff they have, nutritionists and indoor facilities and all that kind of stuff. You can eat year round. The only time I got to eat was during the season. After that training table, man, look here. I tell you, I should steal hot dogs. Oh man, all
Yeah.
I ate was hot dogs and bananas and a Dr. Pepper. That was my meal during like the off season because I couldn't afford no real meals or anything. Eating ramen noodles and peanut butter. I don't even eat ramen noodles to this day because they remind me of just being broke in college. Just
Wow.
ramen noodles, cutting up chicken in it, or hot dogs in it, eating it out the pot. You know, my mom sent me for my 20th birthday. My mom sent me $20 and told me I owed her $1. I was like, boy, ain't this something right here? You know, but I thank her for it. I
Yeah.
thank her because I was like, man, I just go get it. She told me, get
Yeah.
on it, go get it. All right, I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah. Was that your senior year, coach? Did you say you was All American or no?
I was preseason All American. I didn't make All American. My senior year was rough. I played with 3 different quarterbacks my senior year.
Man,
None of them had
that had to suck.
experience.
Yeah.
Oh man! And now hindsight, I wish I'd have opened my mouth. The 3rd string quarterback is the one who should have started. But you know, it's the political stuff you see.
Yeah.
And we opening up. My first game was against Florida State, #1 in the nation, Pigskin Classic.
They had lot of what stood out about them, coach?
Well, Florida State, they was
Uh-huh.
#1 in the country. Chris Winkie, Mims, all of them dudes, man, they were loaded.
Yeah.
Man, that defense was so loaded. Bobby Bowden. And then my senior year, the head coach Lavelle was retiring that year. And I remember when I first got there, and asked when he retired, I'm retired when you're done. He literally did that. With my
Dang.
senior year, that's when he was retiring. So we played Florida State. Then we played Virginia, who was a top ranked team. Then we went home to play who did we play at home? Did we play Air Force? I don't know. We went to Air Force. Then we flew back over and we played Syracuse. They had like Moreland Greenwood, Will Allen, Dwight Freeney.
Ooh.
It was a mad. I'm like, God dang. We went 6-6 that season. We played with
Okay.
3 different quarterbacks. So my stats went down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just things I had to do, man. And it helped me build my character though. I could have easily lashed out because I was only like 200 and 300 something yards for breaking the all-time receiving record in BYU.
Oh,
I
wow.
came up that short of it, you know. I needed like 900. I did make like 200 something. I need like 900 something. I ended up with like 6, 7, 7 something a year. But character, I helped build a character in me because I didn't
Yeah.
lash out. I was still supportive of my teammates. A lot of things. We had 2 new coordinators. Norm Chow was gone, so we had 2 coordinators who didn't have experience. You know, and it was more like, you know, be a team player with this thing, man. It was tough though, but I learned a lot from it. I think my draft status dropped off of that stuff too.
Yeah, and
Because I
that's
was
some
going
people
through the
don't know
season.
because that's a good
I was
point.
3rd, 5th round going in, and everything just dropped off. And it wasn't my fault. It was just the way they were using me. You know, I still
Yeah.
had the catches. I went from 1,000 yards to 700 some yards. Then I'm planning to do it. It was just, but I say everything is meant to happen for a reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Still got a shot to go pro. Still went
Yep.
to town.
And I
Still had
want to
that
ask you
thing
about that
played the
too.
Senior Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Coach. When looking back on it, going back to your history, when you talk about a Florida State, some of those good teams, even though they were loaded, what stands out about a quote unquote number one team in the country? Is it just talent, size, speed, or is it a cumulative things?
It was a cumulative thing. Size, speed. Florida State was fast.
Okay.
They weren't that big though. I told someone I remember they threw a pick and I was running across the middle and I ran slap over a linebacker. Like boom boom, they
Dang.
depleted him.
Dang.
But I wasn't no small dude, but just seeing that and seeing how the game, goes, they have a lot of athletes who can cover ground. And they're
Okay.
disciplined. Those top teams are disciplined, and if you got talented players and they're disciplined, that's all right. That's why recruiting is so important. They're not getting kids they trying, I got to go develop them. Man, you're getting kids that's already pretty much developed.
Facts.
I look
Facts.
at it like this. What is A&M going to show Evan Stewart?
Right.
He goes
Right.
in as a freshman in January and he's already starting.
Woo.
Does it have
Best
anything to
best
do with
wide
the
receiver in the
coaches?
country.
Does that have anything to do with those coaches?
Nah, he was already best in the country.
All right, then. I rest my case.
Yeah. Whew, it's good stuff. What we in about an hour, 5 minutes just rolling. We're gonna keep going a little bit if Coach okay with it. So, um, after college, Coach, what was your expectation? I mean, obviously you went to the league, but walk me through that post college career.
Man, that post college career, you go to work out while playing the Senior Bowl. My
Okay.
my my last game of my college career, man, I snapped my hamstring. Just like in Thanksgiving. So now I got to heal that up because now I'm invited to play in the Senior Bowl. So I got to heal up for that. So I finally picked the agent. They fly me. I was went to New Orleans to do my combine training, but also rehab my leg and all that kind of stuff. Before I even do combine training, I had to get ready for the Senior Bowl. So I'm
Mm,
there. I'm there with like Chad Johnson, uh, man, Reggie Wayne. I mean,
okay.
that receiving core, the class that I came out with was loaded. I think it was like 5 or 6 first rounders that year.
Wow.
So, and even at, just playing in the Senior Bowl, seeing those guys play, and I was still injured, and still had to fight through that stuff, man. It was like, God, because I know I had to play because I didn't have no big time stats and stuff because my senior year. So you got to fight through all that kind of stuff, going to practice every day, and you see that, and you see, okay, I belong out here. I'm like them,
Okay.
I'm just as good, but then having the opportunity to sit around, talk to them, laugh and talk, and having that camaraderie and respect where they know you. They know, okay, yeah, you did your thing in college. Yeah, I know you. Yeah, you did your thing. It's cool to have that. And that's
Yeah.
why now, even as a trainer, I don't seek that attention. I don't want to go train pro guys. For what? I was a pro.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for that. I want to go give me a seed and let me go plant it and water it and grow it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a pruner. I'm a grower. Some people
Mm,
accessorize. I don't want to accessorize. I want to build the car. I want to be Ford Motors. I don't want to be the one that paint and put rims on. I want to be the one
yeah.
that engine. That's my style. That's my style of training. That's what I carry myself to be, you know, and that manner. So even if a kid is talented, they were like, man, coach, you hard on them. You don't let them get away with nothing. For what? Why should I'll be selling them short? Why? Because I know what it takes. How do you know? Because I've been there, done that. I've been
Yeah.
there. I've done that kind of stuff. Things you want to do, and you're gonna be way more capable of doing it than me. I'm gonna give you the cheat code. I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you how to get ahead of the game. Then I'm gonna kind of put some business side of it when you get to school and the different things are gonna happen. Let me show you how you handle this. No, you don't yell. Don't call your dad. No, you write it down. So you
Mm,
don't speak out of turn. Write it down. Don't speak with your emotion. Write it down. You can write with the emotion. But
mm-hmm.
I'll get that steam off. And then when you have to go talk to a coach, you can talk to him like this. And I coach them through those types of things. And the coaches, like, man, let me tell you, talk to you. To what, man? Stuff they say is just different. Like, yeah. But you always tell the coach, the first thing they coach, what do I need to do? Tell me this. Okay, you write that down. Check it out. Hmm? And then turn out, coach, this is what I'm expecting from you. Boom, put that in front of him. Probably like, huh? What? Oh, dang. You know, I tell you, if I was a college coach, I was like, man, give me the biggest office you have. I just want a small desk because you know you can have meetings with players, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can have meetings. I would call them in, have morning meeting. Guess what I do? I would close my door though, and I would go for footwork. I would show them how to release. But thing is, how do I know how to show them how to release? I've been in between the numbers.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches ain't been in between them numbers. You're gonna go
Yeah.
on stuff on YouTube. You're gonna do the typical, and you're gonna get them jammed up being section P, section M up in the stand. They're gonna throw his butt up in there. That's what I would
Now,
do.
for real.
So every meeting, I have two guys a day. You're gonna come meet me on Monday, Wednesday. You're gonna meet me, and I'm talking about from the bottom because I want my entire receiving core. My job is to say, okay, from the weakest link, how strong is my weakest link?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how strong is my weakest link? Because sometimes, but coaches don't have time to do it. They don't. They don't have time. Even high school coaches don't have time to do all the stuff I do. They have rules.
Yeah.
I don't have rules. I make my own.
And that's the power in it.
Oh, I
I
love
just
it.
wrote a post about that's and see us people like that we different. You know, we like do our own thing. So coach, walk me through. I want to walk me through that pro journey, even if it was short, and then the introduction into training. Because I want to hear your mindset on training. You kind of hit it just now a little bit, but I was gonna kind of wait it till later. But I want to see
The
your mindset with that
the,
without giving
the
too much of
pro
your secrets. Also,
pro journeyman. I played in the Senior Bowl. I
okay.
went to the combine. You know, combine. True story. I ran a 4.4 flat 40 my first laser time.
Mm.
Remember, I told you I came off a pulled hamstring.
Yep.
Second time around, I crossed sweat. Minnesota Vikings looked at me like, man, you made some money. Second go around, I ran like a high four. I pulled up because I felt my hamstring tightening. I pulled up
Mm.
and kind of tightened up. So I ended up running like a high 4.5. So the average that and say like 4.46, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and people were like, man, I know you can run. I said, man, I was coming off a pulled hamstring. So I did all the combine stuff. Draft day come, like, okay, you by the third, fifth round. Well, third round come around, and everything switched to go DB. The DBs start coming off the board, left and right DBs. Already Steve Smith had been drafted. I mean, there's some dudes I can't remember, some well respected, some dogs, some ballers. So
Mm-hmm.
I went everywhere. I was what they call a priority free agent. So I ended up signing with Tampa. But I had like
Okay.
12 teams at the end of the draft say, hey, man, we want you to come in. I was like, thinking I should have went to Philadelphia. Andy Reid is a BYU alumni. He'd take care of all BYU players. You can play, man, he take care of you. So
Oh
I'm
wow.
like, oh, man, I took my butt to Tampa, which it was cool to, play with Tony Dungy. His last year at Tampa was my first year there. So I
Okay.
went to Tampa, training camp. Matter of fact, I graduated from BYU in April. Well, the graduation was set on the same day I had to report for mini camp.
Oh wow.
And now this is big for me. I never got to walk on stage at BYU.
Oh
That's one
wow.
thing I regret because I had to go. Like you got to go here. So I never got to walk on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Go to training camp. Mini camp. Having the first good few weeks, the last day of mini camp, man. No. Second day, I rolled my ankle bad. It's
Mm.
huge. Matter of fact, I think the running back coach or the special team coach was Mike Tomlin when I was at Tampa. So it was bad, man. I mean, Coach Charlie Williams is my receiver coach. So I'm fighting through it. Like, man, I gotta play. So I'm getting spatting up. And I went, man. And at the end of practice, he gave me my props to coach. Like, man, look at this dude ankle, man. He done fall through this, and this. But guess what they do? It's about, production. They didn't
Yeah.
care if I was hurt. You weren't producing. You didn't run the speed that we expected to run. They could care less that I was injured. So I got back for training camp. I'm balling. I'm healed now. They don't care. They're like they already written me off. So I asked to be released from Tampa. They gave me a release because I was going to try to get picked up by another team. So I go back home. I chill. I got some money kind of stacked up a little bit. I go
Smart.
home, better wake up, just chill a little bit, just relax, because I've been doing football since 8 years old.
Yeah.
Go home, man, and, start hanging around my mom and everything. I started substitute teaching, just kind of getting fit, just doing something.
Yeah.
Got to hang around the homeboys, and then it got that I was sitting there watching the game. It was Cowboys playing Kansas City Chiefs. I'm looking at my mom, and I'm seeing dudes I think I'm just as good or better than playing. And I'm like, man, I got to get back to the league. My mom looked at me like, what? I said, Mom, I got to get back to the league. And she was, what she told me?
What?
Go do it.
Mm.
A couple weeks later, man, I got a call from my agent saying, you want to go to Miami or Phoenix? I've always dreamed of living in Miami. It's like feel like a dream of mine. Man, I want to go live in Miami by the beach. I want to go kick it. So I chose Miami. So they allocate me to go to NFL Europe. I was drafted by the second receiver pick, I think that second, third round by Scottish Claymores.
Okay.
So I go to training camp for them. Go to training camp, I swear to God, the last scrimmage we have, I mean, I had like 4 catches, like 80-some yards. James Brown used to be a Texas quarterback, was my quarterback. And they had like 5 receivers there, but they had 2 receivers that were European. Automatically, they keep, I think, like 5 receivers or 2 on practice squad, whatever. So when you're a European, you're automatically make the squad. So that took 2 spots. Well, you have priority how you get drafted. So I got drafted, but they had 2 receivers that they just placed. When you get placed, that means you're a priority. So you don't get cut. So now that leaves what? 2 spots.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy because the receiver coach told me every time we asked for the top receiver, you're always in the top 3. So Easter Sunday morning, man. I mean, that night, I mean, that day before I balled out. So we go out and party. Ybor City, Tampa Bay. I get back in. I get a knock about 3, 4 in the morning. Boom, 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 boom. The receiver coach, hey, Marty, come here and bring your playbook. I'm getting ready to get cut on Easter Sunday morning. I'm like, Jesus ain't even rose yet.
Dang.
I'm getting cut from like, and he actually shed tears in front of me. He said, man, dude, you getting a raw deal in this thing. You should be on this squad. But it was a blessing. Because then they flew me to Miami. Said, well, we're going to fly you back to Miami. You know, I fly to Miami. I'm thinking, okay, fly to Miami. The facility is in Fort Lauderdale, so I don't have any money. I fly into Miami airport. I'm broke. So now I got to figure out how to get a taxi cab or some ride to get to the hotel up. So Miami, I talked to Miami. It's okay, put in a hotel. I go there and they're like, what are you doing here? I mean, we came to the game, you know, you ball, how you get cut? Yeah. Man, it just happened. So they put me on like a being there, a roster bonus. So every month I was there, I got like extra $1,000. They were paying me like, I think like $400 a week. So you got the roster bonus. That's what I was getting paid a month. I was in an apartment across from the facility where I had to sleep on the couch because it was so expensive. And other dudes had the room, but they were paying more money. I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm having to walk across the street to go to the Wendy's to get dollar meals. I had one bank account at Bank of America, but I overdrew in that one, so I got my check. So I took my check over to the other bank, so I could keep that money and hide it. That type of stuff. I rode the city bus when I was in Miami with the Dolphins. I rode the city bus. So
chase that dream,
man. I'm looking, man. My contacts dirty. I ain't got no insurance. Get new contacts.
That's the real.
My playbook.
That's the real stuff, Coach. That's the part nobody knows about.
And I'm sitting there, man. I'm going to practice. I'm doing, and the thing is, a lot of receivers were hurt. So I had to do every position at practice, doing mini camp. I had to do everything. And it allowed me to learn a lot. My Coach Ford, he helped me visualize the style because, I'm not a big time guy with money invested in. The key is, you got money invested in you. That will keep you safe. You got money invested, they can't cut you because everything's prorated. If they cut you, they got to pay you all your roster from all your signing bonus, which puts them over salary cap. So now it's called job security. Okay. So you got guys that money, they'll sit down and chill. So, I go there, man, I'm playing my butt off. I'm playing every position. I'm playing the X, I'm playing the Y and the Z. The big time guys ain't got to do, they play one position, but he tells me, man, you're smart enough to be able to do this stuff. And he helped me out. Robert Ford's from Belton, Texas. So he helped me. He said, man, I'm going to help you out. So, I mean, every time they get ready to cut you, Hooks, you do something and just make the squad. He said, you just do something. You always just do something.
Yeah.
And then the business side happens. So I'm playing in the games. My second year in the league, they don't even throw me passes in the game. They hide me. In other words, if I go out there and ball out, and other teams see that, they're going to pick me up. I get in games, and they had a kid that they drafted. They drafted him, so they let him catch the ball. They're like, we got to make sure he can play. But they kept me like a safety, like, okay, just in case he can't. It's like, they kept me around. So I ended up making practice squad that year at Miami. So I was there like from September because they released me, and they told me, look, man, we're going to bring you back. This is how practice squad works. It's a week-to-week thing. It's not, just your contract. It's week to week. So every Tuesday at 3:00, if you were still on it right now, cut you, you got your money for the following week. So I would be in my room. We'd go to the mall and we'd hang out. We wouldn't buy nothing. At 3:00, we'd go buy stuff.
Okay.
We had that money coming in. That's my lifestyle. you know.
Yeah.
And I'm at practice, and guys telling me, man, you need to slow down. You need to, man, your bank account is nice. I'm not slowing down. But I'm
Yeah.
going against guys like Pat Surtain, Sam
Okay.
Madison, Zach
Yeah.
Thomas, Jason Taylor. All these dudes are
Yeah.
ballers.
Yep.
Brock Marion. I remember him when he was a
Yep.
Cowboy. So I'm sure this old dude. I'm like, man, Ricky Williams, it's loaded. Chris
Yeah.
Chambers, Rondé Gasson. So, I mean, I'm able around these dudes.
I
So,
remember them boys.
then they only keep 4 on practice squad. And people
Okay.
are like, oh, you're a practice squad. Like, do you know how hard it is to make the practice squad?
And a lot of people probably don't, coach.
You got over 100 dudes on the team. They cut, man. I made it through the second wave.
Yeah.
And then, so the next season they resigned. They resigned me after that first season. I was there. They resigned me. So, okay, I got to ball out. So, I mean, it was the best training camp I had. Well, they brought a draft pick in. A quarterback gets hurt.
Okay.
So, to bring a quarterback, they didn't cut the quarterback. To bring a quarterback in, guess what they got to do? They got to release somebody. I get released.
Yeah.
The day before the last game of the preseason. That's when none of the veterans play. I'm supposed to eat. We playing New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
They cut me the day before we were supposed to fly out. So they knew they were going to cut me. They had me practice and do everything too.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, because I'm ready to ball out. Because now I
Yeah.
go ball out.
That's your chance. Yep.
It's my chance.
Yep.
And I get cut.
Wow.
And I tell you the thing, the Turk came to get me. The Turk is the one when you get cut, they call you in. We got on the elevator, and he said, man, you getting a raw deal. He said, you should be on the 53-man roster. He was like, man, he said, man, you had, people asking me, man, who's number 18? Who is number 18? I didn't have a name, but people started asking questions about me.
Okay.
And it was one of them things, I lived and learned. At least I had the opportunity.
Yep.
A lot of people didn't have that. Then from there, like I said, innovative there. Then I did a stint with a Canadian league. I went to I did arena football. I went to the Colorado Crush.
Okay.
Did that thing. That stuff crazy, man. That arena football. Oh my, that's a whole different profession by itself. I'm like, I'm having space. Man, that stuff different. Then I did Canadian league. I was the BC Lions. I tell you, that's gangster ball in Canada. You got to run and start. The field is a pasture. That field is so big. It's
it is a lot wider, right, coach?
Man, yeah, and longer. I ran 80 yards in game 5 on the reverse.
Dang.
I mean, the field is huge. And then after that, it's kind of like I did some workouts with some arena teams, but then I knew I didn't have it in my mindset when I had been through so much, and nothing was guaranteed in football. So I decided to use my degree.
Okay.
And it kind of and I started teaching. I was working at Evan Sales and Leasing. I was a repo man. Okay. So when people weren't paying their bill, I go take stuff out your house.
Okay.
But before that, though, before how I got that job, I was going door to door, knocking in. How to sell those little cards, and it's like $29.99 or $40, and they had all these coupons on. It's like $400 worth of coupons. I was going door to door selling those because when I finished playing, I had a degree, but I just didn't know how to sit down. And I was just doing stuff to get some money in my pocket.
Yeah.
So I was in walks. I never forget. I was in Louisville, going door to door, going to different bed. I went to Aaron Sales and Leasing, and I did the pitch there, and I had one of my championship rings on, and the manager, I was going to walk out, and no, we're not actually pull me in. He was like, man, the way you pitched that, he's like, he said, what is that championship ring? He said, you want to be like this? No. I said, I hate when people that did I-10. No, I graduated. I'm alumni.
Okay.
So he hired me on, he said, man, look, I got a sales manager spot here. We need a guy, So I said, okay, I think about it. Man, I'm in Waxahachie. It's hot as hell. I'm walking door to door selling these little cards, and I ain't buying nothing. And I was so hot, and I went into a store, and I'm a Middle Eastern man. I don't forget. I'm so tired. I'm just beat down. He looked at me and said, man, it's going to be okay. God bless you. And it kind of perked me like somebody don't know me actually cared about me then. Because no one ever cared about it. I was always the strong person. I was always the one who was going to make it.
Yeah.
And that helped me. And I called Evans, and they told me to come in for an interview. And I walked in and said, I'm ready for an interview. Oh, man, you hired. You did your interview when you did that pitch. So I started there for 3 months. I transferred me to North Dallas. And I became a assistant manager there. And I was always around kids. Kids would come in. I was a big stickler on helping kids out. So, kids would come in. It's a it's rent to own. So they come in. It's low income people.
Yeah.
They come there to rent PlayStation. So it's
I didn't know they had that back then.
Man, they had PlayStation.
I thought it was furniture, coach.
Man, look, they did have furniture, but they had that stuff too. And parents would come there and get it. I'm like, why don't you just save your money up and go to Kmart? It's cheaper. It's Walmart or something. They didn't. And kids would always come in. I'm tutoring, helping them out with their classwork. And I looked at teachers, and I would make 2 times the money I was making doing the A.M. sales and leadership. I started teaching.
Yeah.
And then Aaron's didn't really want to give it. So I was still working at Aaron's, teaching school, getting the certification, and I was coaching.
Okay.
And then when I was coaching, the teams I had started doing well. I was at Marsh Middle School. And I started doing, with coaching and putting things together. And people, I was actually beating teams that feed in the Skyline,
Okay.
DeSoto, and
Is
hard.
Marsh over here by Pleasant Grove, coach, or no?
No. Marsh is over in North Dallas off of Marsh and
Okay.
Forest Lane. So it was mostly I was a math. I taught math there for a while. I was a football coach, basketball, and did track too. It was mostly a Hispanic school.
Okay.
Had a few brothers, a few white dudes, and I was going to beat the team like Lane, they feeding the Skyline, those type of schools, and I was beating people
Mm.
like. And the guy I was working with, he was the head coach at Marsh. He's like, man, your name is traveling around. And then I started actually work. That's when I started training a little bit. I started
Okay.
working with those kids there and just kind of working with them on the side. In DISD, ain't nobody paying attention if I'm working
Yeah.
with guys because you're not supposed to. They don't care. I
No.
was going to Lower State. They would let me in the stadium, and it just kind of that's how I started training.
Wow.
And it morphed from that. Just starting out doing a couple kids, doing kiddie camps, middle school camps during the summer. I charge $60 for 3 days. I'm feeding kids hot dogs. I mean, they're getting lunch every day. I'm giving them
Yeah.
hot dogs, top beef sandwiches, nachos. That kind of. I'm giving them drinks. Just to kind of give it. I wasn't making money. I did get to break even. I was actually paying guys who are big time trainers now to work those camps. I got pictures
Yeah.
with them all. No one knows it. If I show you them pictures, you're gonna be like, "Oh, you're deep in this." Yeah.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna put them out there, but they know. They know who they are.
Yeah.
And you look like, dang. If I seen you some pictures, you'd be like, dang, they were there. And I was paying them because the thing is, they were brothers. I was like, man, I'm going to help everyone. Thing it kind of took off from that, and I had to step away from it a little bit because I was coaching, and the word got to people thought I was trying to recruit kids to come to the junior high I was there. So I stepped
Sure.
back from it, and that's when kind of some more they kind of the other guys they took off with it. And I would try to help them get in facilities and help them out because I had connections because I was a teacher and I was a coach. So I would help them out, and then it got to the point where it's like, okay, I need to get going again. So I started my own thing up. And again, I'm not from Dallas. So I knew me not being a Dallas guy, I wouldn't be necessarily accepted because
That's a good point.
I didn't go to the schools around here. I was like an outsider,
Yeah.
despite everything. And no, man, you're not from here. So I would travel every Tuesday. I would go to Waco. And I would train the guys down there and just kind of build my name. And the following I had here would come down to Waco and train with me there. And I would do clinics down there, And I was in my home city.
Yeah.
And Coach Williams at La Vega High School, it's not even my home school. He gave me a chance and opportunity to say, we're going to let you come in and do this. And the first year he let me come in, they were able to throw the ball around and they won their first state championship.
Wow. So he was able to kind of hire you as a high school coach?
No, he didn't hire me. I was already coaching. He would just allow me to come to Waco and use his field to train all my guys. And
Okay.
in return, I would train his guys. So I would go in the room with him. I get on the board. I would look at his concept and schemes, and I would go ahead and train the guys, especially late in the season, late in the summer after camps. I would train his guys within the scheme that they needed them to do.
That was smart for him. Yeah.
To help him out. And even the day I was like, man, you the receiver coach. You ain't here, you the receiver coach.
Yeah.
So, but I was coaching it. I was, like I said, Marshall School. Then I went over to Woodrow Wilson High School and I coached receivers there. And that's when I kind of realized then I'm not going to coach anymore because I coached there, but I was seeing, I always tell people I infiltrated the system to see how it works. So now I'm on the outside and I can manipulate it.
You sound like me. Ha!
You can't stop me because I know all your rules and regulations. So I
Yeah.
know what you can't do.
Yeah.
And I know who to call if you break them.
So let me ask you this, coach. What did you, without necessarily getting too deep, what did you kind of see that turned you off, if you will?
Man, I was seeing coaches that didn't genuinely care about all kids. If the kid couldn't help you out when the big time players, like you didn't pay attention to me. Like when I was at Woodrow, man, I was like, I had access to the grading system, so I can go in and look at all the kids' grades, see what they were doing, what they're doing in the classroom. So every week, now at the end of the season, I would print out grade reports. So if you were flunking or didn't have some work turned in, I would give you that red sheet of paper. Also, I would have that paper, and I would call kids over the weekends. Man, you need to do this some, this some. If you ain't got this done, you ain't coming to practice. Now, I probably overstepped my bounds, but I was looking at a bigger picture. You just want that kid to get a 70. All the hell he can do with a 70 is go to the military.
Yep.
I want this kid to have a chance even more, especially minority kids.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. And it was hard because, again, I'm up under coach, and I'm looking at him, how he did things, the things he said. I'm looking at because he didn't hire me. His boss hired me. The principal who was there was my principal at the middle school.
Okay.
And he looked at me like, man, you didn't build a team. You built a program. Every year you're going to city championships. And you taking kids that don't normally look like they should be going to city championships. And you beating top teams with talent. So he brought me in over there. So I went to, I was teaching at the middle school, teaching math at the middle school, walking right across to the high school. But I knew then this guy, he wasn't feeling me like that,
Okay.
And, I could tell that. And when I know God, remember, I played this game. I'm not going to bow down. I'm going to respect you, but I ain't bowing down to nobody.
Yep.
I'm not.
I
don't care who you are. I'm going to respect you. But you think, as soon as you think you raise your hand to try to disrespect me, I'm gonna take your jugular and knock it out through the back of your throat. That's how quick I'm going to react. Oh, no, I'm not playing them games. So I'm going to respect you at all, but I'm going to demand respect. So when you think you can get to the point where you try to disrespect me, like my mom is telling me, where you act up, I'm going to act the fool. So when you decide to act up and not handle things professionally, now I'm going to take your manhood. But remember, I played this game called football, so I have no fear factor.
Yep.
If I put my body on the line for something, for nothing, what you think I'm going to let you disrespect me? Especially if I look at your background and you ain't never played. You ain't never strapped a helmet on. The college you went to didn't even have a football team.
Wow. Coach, that's crazy. Let me say this, and not trying to be funny, but it's amazing how that goes back to what you said earlier about the coaches getting jobs because they know people. But it's like, it's amazing how people move up, man. And it's amazing. I just say that.
It's what you know. It's who you know. What you know is who you know. And to be a high school coach, all you gotta do is understand the rules and regulations, be able to follow the rules of of UIL rules. You can move up if you're patient enough to sit back and kiss enough butt. And sometimes you're gonna be pissed off. True. So I was the Woodrow Wilson, and I swear the coach had a drill called the noose. I told every black kid, we ain't doing this. Oh, definitely knew then. Oh no, you crazy? Not on my watch.
For real?
Not on my. It's bigger than football to me. Not on my watch. This ain't gonna happen.
And what year we talking, Coach? 2000s?
Man, this is 2014 or something like that.
Wow, that ain't that long ago.
13, yeah. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, dude, are you serious? And then I'm coaching receivers. He would always waddle over there, try to tell me, look, all you have to do is run around. And the kids looking at me like, didn't you play? I'm like, look, man, let him coach. This is his team.
Yeah.
But then on the side, I was starting to train and build my training up. So while I was doing it, I was still training and teaching kids. But what I did, because I couldn't practice there, and well, you got all these URL rules. Well, my wife is a principal in DISD.
Oh, for real?
So her school was right down the street. But I went to a public park that was right beside her school, and I trained there. So now I'm not on BYU, I'm not on DISD property. So I can do what I want to do.
Good point.
And I was building it. I used to train, I would call myself a shade tree mechanic. It's over in East Dallas. Then I used to go over to a park across the street, and it was homeless people. I would just give them drinks and food. They would hold the camera for me and record stuff for me. And there's some big time players that's gonna come off that field up under that shade tree. Because people see what I have now, but they don't know what I went through to get to this point. Traveling up and down the highways when I'm trying to get small schools to come to a camp. I'm charging maybe $25. I'm feeding you, and I get there, only 10 kids show up. And then remember those guys I said I had working doing stuff for me? They big time training. I was paying them. Even if I didn't have kids show up, I was putting money in their pocket, taking care of them. And they good dudes. But it's just, things happen. It's business. So I saw that. I'm going up and down the highways, man, back and forth. I'm not making money, but I'm just trying to just go, trying to get it going. And I mean, I swear, I used to do birthdays where, our parents have birthdays in the park. Me and this other guy, we would go out there and do like the birthday parties. We'd set up cones and do drills and play flag football with them. We were the entertainment. So how things are going now for like new trainers coming out and doing this stuff, a lot of steps have been taken for them to do all this. Matter of fact, Think about that straight line recruiting stuff that came out. Why do you think that happened? Straight line recruiting, where college coaches are gonna go straight to the high school coaches. They're not gonna talk. We don't care about trainers. We don't care about 7-on-7
Yeah,
coaches. See how that stuff has gotten quiet now?
it had,
College
coach.
coach, college coaches don't care, man. How can they get the kid? And I
Yeah,
spend more personal time with those kids than the coaches do. You spend time with them as a group, as a collective. I don't have a personal time. Sometimes it comes that I'm tutoring them, bringing books. It's different things I'm doing. You know, it's different parts of life, man. I'm helping with. It's different things. And are the high school coaches important? Very important. They are, but everybody has their part now to do.
let me ask you, coach. Is it? And I asked you this earlier, and he kind of said it, but even what you just said, straight line recruiting, this, that, and the other, is that kind of a power thing, or
It's a
something to
power
kind of
thing.
keep? Okay,
Power thing. Because when I'm in school, the coach, I can ruin your career. College coach won't ever talk to you because when they get their list, they say, who are your top guys? That coach cannot put you on the list. That coach can go talk to that coach, the head coach or college coach can talk to the coach. He can say, he sucks. He don't show up to practice. He can lie on whatever. It might be
my
something that
goodness,
day he just pissed out at you about, and your whole career is gone. Well,
my
now
goodness.
you got me and other trainers speaking on the kids' behalf. Because
Yeah,
maybe we're looking at it from a different perspective. Maybe that kid responds to us because of who you are and what you do. Who knows when you go home and talk to your wife and the people you hang around, what you're saying about people like him.
real talk,
And
real
kids can
talk.
kind of get a sense on who real with them.
Yep.
And that goes both sides, whether you, like, let me put it out there, whether you black, white, Hispanic, whatever you are coaching, kids can get a sense of who really cares about them.
Yep.
Don't come with the cliches. Be real. That kid's flunking math and you pull that kid inside. Don't talk to him about it. Guess you do. Get on that race board, erase them X's and O's, and put Pythagorean theorem up there. Put A squared plus B squared equals C squared and explain it to him. If he's an algebra, put Y equals MX plus B.
Mm-hmm.
Go put those numbers. If he needs help with the reading, go through the book. Help him analyze the book. If he needs with history, help him memorize stuff with dates. Show him that. That's more important than football.
True.
Can you do that,
No.
or is it about that win? And that kid got
Yeah.
that 70, got you to get the win, but the kid can't go nowhere. See, that's why I'm an advocate for it. That's why I fight. I don't care who you are. I want you to at least have an opportunity to go to college. Whether you can play ball or not, have the grades for it. And I'm going to hold you accountable for that. Why? Because I did it. And
Yeah.
it's not,
And
I understand.
that's powerful too. That's powerful too what you said, coach. Because, and I'll say it another way. It's easy to get on a kid and say, do your homework. But it's another thing when you're trying to walk the kid through it. Like one,
Yeah.
you can preach it or you can show it.
And see, I have 4 certifications. I'm a 4 certification teacher. I'm certified in math. I'm certified in English language arts. I'm certified in health and I'm certified in PE.
Hmm.
So that's a lot you learn about me. People don't even know I'm a teacher, school teacher.
I didn't know
They
that.
just see the other side to it. They just see, oh, he trained guys. He do this. He do this. Oh, he trained big time guys. I train everyone. When they come to me, they not big. I don't even know who they are. We just go to the lab. We go to work, and I hold them
Yeah.
accountable. I'm not gonna let them get away with whatever because he said he's gonna be big time. I compare it to me. I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Boy, every trainer can't say that. I can't, man. I'm
Yes.
better than you. Where you trying to go? I've been there. And I
Mm-hmm.
play with that, man, because we went to Google to stuff. And yeah, coach, you did it. But I said more to it than just football. And just because you didn't play don't mean you can't train. But the one thing I will say, I'll be able to give them more the mentality and mindset to make it in between the lines than you. Why? Because I've been in there.
Yeah.
I've been in there to make the mistakes. Here I said to make the mistakes. Anybody can play when
Mm-hmm.
everything's going good. I've made that mistake and have to bounce back. I've had that rough game and have to bounce back. Camera in your face. I've dropped the pass, hit me in the touchdown pass, and hit me in my face in a bowl game. Camera right in front of me. I have to bounce back from that.
Yeah.
Those types of things, that they probably, man, it's different. Yes. There's going to be some lonely days where sometimes you might even self doubt yourself. I went through it. I doubted
Mm-hmm.
myself on what I could do. And that's
Good
life
stuff.
in general. How can you pull through? What are some things you can do? What's some things help you pull through? What are some things, what is that quiet place? What are the things you can go back to where it all started and help you revise and recharge? So I always give kids things when they leave and go to school, things they can do that takes them back to when we first started training. Maybe it can kind of regenerate that power they have. Like, okay, Shit, man, I do this. I try to take them back to the beginning, so I give them different things to do and say, or they may call me and say, "Go do this," to try to get that mind, and not about the body, to get the mind back where it needs to be. And the mind, the mind and body, the spirit, everything has to go together. Football will take care of itself, but the outside things that's in your life are kind of, atone. It's a lot easier to perform in football. That's what you do. You've been doing it all your life. You're not a pro yet. Now, pro guys can have hell going on outside their life because they're pros mentally. They know how to turn it on and turn it off. They know how to filter it. When they get on the field, they can perform. When you're young in college, you can't do that yet. You haven't been through enough. You haven't been through enough. So you got to make sure everything is on one accord. Everything is evenly dispersed in your life. You got to have time to go have fun. You got to have time to go, take care of your body, your mentals, your spirituals, all that kind of stuff to make sure it goes together. Make sure you're doing the class work. I'm like, man, tell you get the A on the test. That make football, boy, lovely.
Yeah.
What make you nervous is just, man, I don't flunk. I might not even be able to play football no more. Look how I'm thinking. I don't flunk. I might not be able to play football. Woo, I got this. Hey, I'm just go ball out.
Yeah.
It all ties together.
Let me ask you this, Coach. We're hour 40 minutes in, so we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. What's your ideas on the UIL, just a general standpoint, and then you hit on the college coaches of who you know. Is that something that you've seen a lot where guys have moved up based on who they know? And then speak on your
Yes.
ways of growth, and we'll end it on that.
I've seen people move up on the web. I've seen kids who never played a down a ball in college get college jobs. You've seen it right for your eyes. You just don't see it. You just don't know it. I see it because I know the
Yeah.
coaches and I know the kids.
Yeah.
It's coaches now, and you look at it, and I'm not knocking. Look, man, it is what it is. You got it, cool. You're taking advantage of it. That's cool. But won't you tell your story? Tell everybody that how you got it. Is it plausible that I can do that too?
Real
Can I do
talk.
the same thing, or do I have to work my way up? That's why I started training. I said, I ain't gonna work my way up. Wow, I'm just gonna build it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna travel that path everybody trying to climb up the mountain. I'm just gonna drill the hole through the mountain. It's a
No,
little harder,
but now, Coach, it's harder when
but
you're trying to work your way up.
yeah,
Like a lot
but
of
it's
people don't
yeah.
realize these coaches. It's a lot that come with it when
Man,
these guys got to
I
work their way up,
I
man.
can't bite my tongue like that.
Yeah.
I can't bite it. The stuff they go through, look, I done seen coaches get cussed out dog, in high school,
Wow.
get dog cussed.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, wow, what?
Yeah.
He's a grown man. I mean, if it's something going, you can pull him to the side. You ain't got to degrade the man. Man got kids and stuff.
Hmm.
I ain't understand that.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna yell and cuss at me like you ain't gonna go off on me like that. Cause then what if I flip it to me? What if I flip into that football mode? What if I flip
Hmm.
into that dude that went to that coach's house
Then he
who
gonna
ain't
try to
scared to
fire
get
you.
hurt? And
Yep.
I don't care about you firing me. What if you do that to me and I run full speed and put my head through your face
Yeah.
and I take it there? What you
Yep.
gonna do then?
Yep.
I don't care about the job no more. I went
Yeah.
into football mode. And now your players see it. I knew then I had to
Hmm.
step away from the game. I ain't coaching no more. Hell no, I can't do it. You can keep
Yeah.
that money. You can
Yeah.
keep that. I'd rather go to the field as I play. When I go to the field, I'm the boss. You know. And that's how I've always had. And I respect coach, man. There's coaches that have them, which is cool. I'm not
Yeah.
knocking you. But you're smart enough to put people around that have. And one thing
Yeah.
I said about high school coaches that I respect because their coaches leave their assistant and become head coaches.
Yeah.
That's the thing I enjoy to see. When those coaches, yeah, they coach up funny, but then they leave and go get head coaching jobs. That's what it's about. I have a
Hmm.
big respect if you do that. Like I said, Coach Samples,
I was just about to say
all
that.
these,
That's what I was thinking
yeah,
when
he
you
do
said
that.
that.
Yeah, his coaches do that. All his coaches, man, they leave, go do that thing. People are like, do you want to be a head coach? No, I don't want to be a head coach. I don't. I
Yeah.
like the man. Look, if you become, I don't want that because you're a head coach, you got to deal with parents. It ain't all about football. You got the paperwork, all the stuff that people don't see. Make sure this kid eating, all the stuff that people don't see. You have to do them late night phone calls. When this kid got this going, this kid got this going, this kid right at home, this kid parent got killed, this parent, all that
Yeah.
they don't see that these coaches do.
Yeah.
I see because I used to be me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some coaches I call just to check up on them. Just see how they're doing, coaching wise. Now, like Coach Sweeney at DeSoto, I call him every now and then just to check up on him. Man, how you doing? And he was because like, I said, Coach, I've been there. I coached before. And I don't know. Sometimes, hey, you think you don't know about care? I know what you're dealing with, man. You're doing a good job.
Yeah, that's
Coach, you
good,
don't want to
coach.
do this again? No. Why? How about this? I'll hire you. I love saying that now. I can hire you and pay you.
Ha! Yeah,
I like, what's your stipend? I bet I can double that. Oh, I love
yeah.
saying that. And they know
Let me ask you this, coach. Since you said it, let me ask you this. How many All Americans did you coach? How has this thing been? How you built this mansion, if you will?
just the support of parents allow me and give me an opportunity to work with the kids, support me with it. It's not something that's come pop off in one day. It's the gradual, it's the grind every week, every day they come to me. Being able to start off small and slowly build it. I'm like, there's a blueprint. There's an actual blueprint that I have for it now. And I'm able to kind of see. And kids like, man, do you make the All America? Like, no, I give everybody the same start. It's what you do with it.
Mm,
I It's what you do with it.
mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. And some people take the all American approach with it. And not saying I haven't to do it, but no, these kids are coming, they're gifted. They come when they're fast, they can run, they can jump. As a teacher, if you get a kid that's already an AP student and they come to you and say for them they score on a 100 scale, they may have a 95. Or are they going to digress and get to a 94? They're still A or a 93? Or can you maximize them, take them from a 95 to 100? That's the part I figured out.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out how to maximize it.
What is, and this is going to be football. What is something you impart with them, coach? Is it a certain technique? It is a certain fundamental? What's something that you give to your guys?
It's the mindset to get it right at all times. Because you come to me, you just see on social media, you see the kind of somewhat of the finished product. That's why you probably
Okay.
noticed the past month or so, I start posting how kids look when they first come to me
Mm-hmm.
and then how they look now. I said, did I max? Oh, their kid's a 5-star. And they look at him like, God, dang, he's falling all on his face. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was talented. No, don't get it twisted. He was talented. He got some God given gifts.
Mm-hmm.
But can you maximize it? Or you just gonna ride that kid's coattail to let him just woo, he gonna get all this, but then he get to school and he ain't playing.
Mm. Yeah.
Like I said, I go home and watch my guys in college play. And then I like for them to come back and talk to my younger guys. So sometimes young guys are going through, man, just listen to Coach Hicks. Hey, trust me, he's hard on you, but trust me, it'll pay off later. Because I hold them accountable. I give them homework to do. I give them things that, to help them out. So when you come to me, it's like everything I do is like a school. I teach school how you have to unfold and unbox. In school, you looking to have the DO, the daily objective, what you're working on. Then you have to have that proof of knowledge. How do you prove that they know? So I have what we're going to do. Then I have the proof of knowledge that you understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it. What situations will you do this? So we're going to do this the entire time. That's all we're going to do. You don't teach all the algebra in one day. You teach it in
Yeah.
pieces. And I've broken it down into the pieces to start and how to build you and know when to move you, when to kind of pull you back. I said, no, let's start over with this. And I do it based on how I have a beginner section. I have like a novice, intermediate, I have my elite section. And what you want to do as a kid, you want to graduate to the next section. But if you mess up in the next section, I would demote you and you go back to the beginner to prove to me again. I have tests they have to pass, pressure situations. Well, I'll put them, okay, I'll move you up to the next group. You able to do this? Go. Can you do it right now? Because that's how you do it. It's right now. You don't have time to, you get it wrong. You don't have time to get it right again. That's college. Once you mess up, you're on the bench. You can't play no more. Ball bounced off your head, there's a pick. You fall down on the route, interception, you're done. So you have to get it right.
Mm.
That's how I coach it.
I ain't know. So you got, it's like stealth. It ain't just
Yep.
this kid. He got to work that way up.
That's why you don't see me with big groups. I do small groups because in school, small group teaching is better.
It is. Yep.
You don't have, if you're in a class and I got 30 kids, that's a lot of kids
Harder.
you're working with
Yep.
her. So now if I don't mind spending the extra 5 hours out there, extra 4 hours to break all them down, I'm still gonna train 30 kids, but it's just not gonna be all at once.
Mm.
So I can teach them the lesson they need to be taught for their day. And I know the building process. I know what not to start teaching kids. Because I'm like, why am I gonna teach you that And in a football game, you're not even going to use it anyway. That's for camp things. So why I'm going to teach you that for a camp? Why I'm going to teach you how to do a release and do all that stuff first, and you can't even stop. You don't even understand the footwork. You're not even strong enough yet. I'm going to wait till you get in the weight room in high school. And once you build that muscle, then I was okay, now we can do this because you've been in the weight room. And I'm on the high school coach's side because I know what they're dealing with. Me, I'm just a specialist. And I've done it for a while. And the one thing about me, I'm not a doctor who ain't never opened a patient up and done it. I ain't a doctor who ain't never actually went to school and had some surgeries out there myself, and then actually had some people live through my surgeries and make it through my surgeries. I'm proven. But I had some great parents that gave me the chance to test on, work on their kids first, so I could learn. So every year I learn more. I adapt to the game. I adapt to what the college coaches want. And you hear, I ain't never mentioned pro.
Why's that?
For what? Look at numbers. There are more kids in high school and junior high trying to go to college than there are college guys going pro. You're a pro. Why I want to train? I'm not even training you then. I'm just maintaining. I want to be able to teach you something. And it's not the challenge. I like the challenge. I like that kid. Give me the kid that don't nobody want, and I'm going to beat you with it.
Wow. How often do you, and not a personal question, but how often do you like to get out there with them, coach? Is it once a week? Is it more? Is it less? How do you like to, or
It's
do it
normally
matter?
they come to me. One, they come in once a week, and I have some of those that want to be more accelerated. They come in like two, never more than three. It's like some of the kids. I got some kids, man, that just like to hang around me. They like to be. I mean, they just like just being around.
Kind of like a mentor.
Yeah, like that type of deal. So it's one thing. It's like a family environment. We laugh, talk, some of everything. It's I'm just a big kid in charge. I enjoy seeing the kid be successful. I see when they struggle with something and I push them through it. I've had kids to walk off the field for me, be mad at me. All Americans mad. And I go off on them and I tell them, you walk out that field, I'm cutting you loose. But they realize, man, he done been here since day one. He know how I work. He know how I tick everything. And they turn around and now they're in college, man. Thank you, coach. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's what I'm here for. Because I know what you want to do. And you have that mindset already, you want to quit because I don't put something on you and it's hard and you get mad because, it's tough. You don't need to play. You don't. Why? It's a disgrace to the game. Why? Go Google me and look at what I did. It ain't much, but it's a lot more than anybody you around now.
Nah, real talk. How do you, let me ask you this, coach, we can wrap it up. Well, this question just came to mind. What do you think about these recruiting services, 247, one recruiting, and all these? And then I want to end with this one. What's your ways of learning right now? And I think we can wrap it up on that one. And how can people contact you as well?
I think they're good in a way. I mean, I think it gives kids some, not necessarily positive feedback, but kids like to see themselves. It gives them, when somebody mentions their name, it gives them that positive feedback. Because some kids come from rough environments. They don't hear anything positive about them at all. I think it's more so for that. I think it's helpful for kids to see themselves. That's the main thing. Whether you look at them, they know talent. I don't look at it like that. I don't even look at them to think they're supposed to know. A lot of them ain't never, not knock them. They're good for kids. The kids respect them. They like them. They go to the schools to see them and get a kid. They're showing their kid in a different light.
Yeah.
They letting the world say, this kid right here. So I think it's great, those different outlets, rivals, 24/7, on three, everything, red red prep, all those schools. I think it helps them, and I think the college high school coaches are more receptive to it. Also, it's putting their schools and their programs in a brighter, in a good light. So I think it is helpful from that. That's what I think about that.
Okay. And then end on what's your ways of learning and how people can find you, and that's it. We'll wrap this puppy up, coach.
Man, the hardest part about me is getting me to answer my phone or my DMs because it's loaded, So I took keep trying.
What is loaded with, coach? Who hit you up?
Man, there's so many people hitting me up. Kids trying to get in, want to work with me. And again, I'm just one person. You don't come out there and see a whole bunch of different trainers. It's me. I always tell people like this: if you pay me to babysit your kid, and you coming to my house, and it's somebody you don't even know watching your kid, they're like, man, it's gonna be bad for business. That's why I do it. The guy do it, and no one is
That's a good
like me.
point. That's a
You
good point.
want to hear me yell at your some kids? They get happy. Coaches to yell at their kid and like, yes, he done yelled. He done went
Yeah.
off on my son. So the thing is there's some things coming through soon where this is what I want to do. I want to get into those inner city areas. Again, I'm gonna tell you, I don't, and it's my reasons. It's certain areas I don't, not areas. It's certain schools I don't even work with kids if they're from that school, and it's out of respect for the coaches.
Okay.
I know coaches have their power. They're like, man, is this my school? This my stuff. This my kid.
Yep.
I see that. And I understand these are powerful coaches who run good programs. So I stay away from those kids. Not because I'm afraid of the coaches, but because if I'm not going to tell you how to run your program, why would I allow you to tell me what to do in mine?
Yeah.
I'm established now. I didn't work my way up. I built it. It's mine.
Yeah.
Even if you're a head coach, guess what? Somebody got to sign your check.
Yep.
You're not a boss. You can get fired.
Yep.
I'm going to leave it this. I sign checks. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So why would
They
I'm
may.
not? So I just stay away from them. And out of
Oh,
respect, I respect
oh,
them. That's why I stay
are
away.
these mainly suburb schools, coach, or just a mixture?
It's a mixture. It's
Okay.
a mixture of schools. Now, what I want to do is be able to get in the inner city for those kids. Because look, it's not affordable for me to travel all over Dallas.
Yeah.
It's not. But some kids, I think these kids in the suburbs that I train, they become all that kind of stuff. Think about these All-American receivers, where they come from. They're not from the inner city.
Yeah.
So just think of a kid that from the inner city get someone like me to work with them on a consistent basis. But it's
Yeah.
all taken care of. It's sponsored and everything. That's what I'm heading leaning towards now. And it's going to take care of some coaches. It's going to take care of some 7-on-7 coaches. They're going to be taken care of and compensated for things. It's going to be something different. And the thing I can do to 7-on-7, because I don't do 7-on-7, so I'm biased. I'm not biased towards anyone because I don't do 7-on-7.
Yeah.
I don't touch 7-on-7. I have kids that I train play a lot of 7-on-7 teams. I don't do 7-on-7, man. That ain't me.
Yeah.
Even though I can coach and all that, but it's like, man, no, I'm not doing 7-on-7. I
Yeah.
just stay to myself. I have my lane, I have my niche. I'm gonna stay in there. There are
Yes,
other
so.
people that do that and they do that well. So
Yeah.
why not help aid them? But not like aid them, but also have a way for okay, you can get a hold of Coach Six. I get kids from all over, from Pleasant Grove, Oak Cliff, South Dallas. They see it. They got guys there that are there. But I know it's like, okay, you see, I got the Reebok, I got this, but dang man, I wonder how that other shoe in. It looked like a Jordan. And thing
Yeah.
is, maybe I need to help train trainers and teach them how to do it.
That's different. Yeah.
I have a few guys I've done that, and some they're making 6 figures doing this.
Wow.
Maybe I train the trainers, but they got to follow the blueprint on how to do it, how to manage the company. Also, you got to figure out your niche with the high school coaches. They have to
Yeah.
respect you.
Yeah,
You
they
can't,
do.
oh, you taking on kids, man. You doing it. I know what they think and all that kind of stuff. That's why they trip out and say, you a teacher? Yeah, I'm a teacher. I'm a school teacher. But you don't. I figured it out. And there's some assistant coaches, I know they look at me and I laugh at them sometimes. I see them in different places. I mean, you still getting that stipend, huh? I said, man, I made your stipend in 2 hours.
Cause I ain't know the sisters get stipend. I thought they were just, salary employees.
No, they get salary. They don't get a salary, but to go coach, you get like a little
Okay, I
stipend.
see what you're saying. Yeah.
They get
Yeah, I
the
see what you're
extra
saying.
stipend.
Yeah.
But I teach school too. I stopped coaching. They took that little that 6,000-7,000 stipend from me, right?
Yeah.
I started doing an after school program. And I do that from 3 to 6. I have 2 assistants to do a lot. And guess what? They pay me more than double than I was making more than double the stipend I was making to do that. And my Fridays,
Yeah.
I ain't got to be out there late at night doing football. I ain't got to go do on Saturday. I ain't got to do Saturday morning meetings. I ain't got to stay up late on Fridays, make sure parents don't pick their kid up, go drop the kid off. I ain't got to be chasing around grade reports. I ain't got to be in practice in the heat. I ain't got to. Now, that's just, I don't want to do it anymore. I've done
Yeah.
it. So I know what it takes. I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
On Fridays, I go home. My kids, I might look at the games on sports day, see who won. Maybe some on TV or something like that. I wake up Saturday morning at 7. I'm training my middle school kids. I start working with them a lot during when school starts because they don't have anything. Or my sub varsity guys because they don't have to go to meetings on Saturdays. And I'm working with them. I'm building them up. So by the time March come around, it's time for the camp. They look how long they've been with me, working on the basics and getting stuff right. Because now I don't have to worry with the varsity guys too much. Because all I'm doing is maintaining them on Sundays because they got varsity games. So I'm just looking at their film, looking at who they're playing for. It's kind of give them some little nicks and tucks within their system. Because I asked them, what do your coach want you to do? Well, you do what your coach tells you. I'm just going to help polish you for what your coach wants. Because you don't want to go against your coach. I might tell you, hey, I want you to do this on the 4th step. He might say, I want you to go 2. Okay, you're going to go 2. Let me show you how to splice this up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm on the coach's side. I understand it's hard. Man, it's hard for them assistant coaches. They ain't making the money the head coach make.
Yeah.
That head coach riding around that F-150, he can afford that F-150 with that gun rack in the back. You ride around in that little one, that little truck with the little gun rack, trying to be like the head coach.
Yeah.
And people laugh, they like, what? Oh, man, I should do petty stuff, too. The last person I coached, I remember the coach used to, the coach always got the nice ride, right?
Yep.
So I would pull up beside the head coach. I'm a junior high coach. I pull up beside him. But I pull up beside, in an Escalade. He'll look at me. Then guess what I would do the next day? Pull up in a different one. So I would do power stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then he'd look at it like, I went to New Orleans Saints about 5 years ago. Sean Payton flew me out to do minicamp and training camp. To work with receivers with the New Orleans
How they
Saints.
come about? I'm trying to wind this thing up because we just keep going. How they come about though?
Oh man. Well, I trained the kid that went to the private school Sean Payton's son went to. So you remember that move when Sean Payton was suspended, he was coaching here at Liberty Christian. So there was a kid that I trained there, and I guess he coached him in 6th grade. So when he came back to watch his son play, he saw the kid and he asked his dad, like, man, what has he done? And the dad told him about me. So he just called me, like, hey, man, this Sean Payton, New Orleans Saints, man, will you seen your stuff, man, see what you do, man, can you work with my son? I'm like, yeah, I work with him. So about 3 minutes later, he called me back. He said, man, I showed some players, some of your footage on your website and everything. I like the way your receivers look, man. When you come up here, minicamp, can work with my receivers, yeah. So when I got there, he actually asked me about coaching. Because when I got there, the actual receiver coach was hurt. He was in a car accident or something, so he wasn't there. So the assistant receiver coach moved up the spot, and then they moved me into the assistant position. So I'm out there with play cards, all that kind of stuff. I could do it. I hate meetings. Meetings are so redundant and boring, and coaches talk about the same stuff over and over. I'm like, I'm a guy. I need to be on the field. I ain't trying to hear all that stuff. So he asked me, "Have you thought about coach?" I said, "Man, look, man, I just got married. Got a daughter. I got a son on the way. I'm not, I don't want to be away because I know I don't want to be away from my family. I don't. So he flew me back up for training camp. I mean, I got footage and everything. I'm with Michael Thomas, all those guys. I'm on the field coaching.
Wow.
No one knew that. I said it must be something where Sean Payton flew me out to do it.
Yeah.
So I have all that stuff, and people don't know that.
Wow.
They don't know that because I don't really say much. It's like, yeah, I did it. Okay, cool. But he told me to, man, I'm gonna let you keep this footage because one day you're gonna be able to show this stuff. People are like, what? Dang, we didn't know you were that deep. I'm like, yeah, I am. But again, I don't want you to, don't see me. You get to see the players.
Yeah.
That's like, and one parent say, man, coach, you got to understand, all we hear is you saying, go, so we can tell your voice. You don't ever see you, but we hear your voice. I'm like, you don't need to see me. You want to see me? Well, how are we going to see you? Go to YouTube and just Google my name. You can see me play. That's what I want you to see. Don't worry about, I'm not going to ride the coattail of this kid. Go look at what I did.
Yeah.
That's
out.
So that's it, man. So yeah, that's another little spirit you learn about me.
Yeah.
I did the
That's good.
thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I enjoyed this, coach. If you got any pictures, coach, you got some old football pictures, send them to me. If not, I want to do a little edit, and I might post some stuff tonight because I enjoyed this, and I kind of feel like you was still talking about something else. What you talking about? Another point you making for I hate on Sean Payton?
I don't know, man. And so I talked to people about it. Like I did a news channel came out the other day, just kind of asked me questions. Because again, I've never spoken. I said, I'm going to wait till I'm established before I open my mouth. I'm going to wait till I get this thing where I'm consistently doing what I do. And then you can't touch me. You're going to leave me alone because now it's enough where if you tell a kid, I don't want you to go to Coach Hooks. Yeah, you normally tell a kid, don't go in the street. What the kid do? Go right to the street. You're going to tell them no, and they're going to come in there and look at me. Man, what are you doing? And then they're going to talk to some parents, other parents, man, you better go. And they're going to like, stay in. Thank you, coach, for telling them not to come. But coaches aren't, and a lot of them aren't like that. Some are respectful for what I do. Most of them are. I respect them. Like I said, I've done it. I've been in their shoes. I haven't been a head coach, but I've been assistant. I've done that. I've been the head freshman coach, but I've never been qualified enough to be a coordinator.
Well, let me ask you this, Coach. Would you ever, well, and I mean, I'm sure the school has certain perks, but would you ever want to do your training full time?
I do it full time.
I mean, but you're saying like what I'm saying is, where it's just that it ain't even no other job, or it's just too good right now. How you got it?
Look at this. My clientele is mostly high school kids, right?
True.
When they're in high school, when they're in school, where am I at? School. When they out, I'm out.
Yeah.
Why not go and get that extra salary I got coming in? Why not?
Yeah.
I'm a full-time trainer.
Yeah.
It just it works into my schedule perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm in school from 7:30 to 6 o'clock. Where are those kids at when I'm in school? At school, playing sports, weight room, doing that kind of stuff. So I'll be at home doing what? I don't really trip out on pro guys. It's just from like January to March, and they gone to wherever they're supposed to go to.
Yeah.
And you got to think about the money that you make doing that. I've been teaching 18 years.
True.
So I do okay teaching.
Yeah.
I do all right. Plus, I got that extra double my stipend money that I got coming in from the other things I do at the school. And I ain't got the stresses, man. I'm an elementary PE teacher.
Oh, you good? You good in?
Gucci.
Yep.
Yeah, now I will go help tutor math and different things like that if I need to. I will help the school out, let those matters because I'm certified to do it. But I'm not tripping.
Oh yeah, you're good though.
I walk into school smiling every day. You know why? Because I know I don't have to be there. I'm there because I enjoy kids. That's what I enjoy. That's why I go to that school every day smiling to help them out, give them a chance. Hey, somebody gave me a chance out of school and talk to me. And teaching, you just can't tell a kid, you got to come over where I am. Sometimes you got to go meet them and help them build the bridge over across. That's what you got to do teaching school because it's kids that don't have that parental backing. They don't have that situation they were just born into. So it's your job as a teacher. It's more than just teaching. Sometimes you got to go in that apartment complex and just go throw the ball around with them and shoot the basketball with them and show you I understand what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I'm on your side. Sometimes I got to let you come in and I got to feed you and let you take that nap because I know you didn't get to sleep because of whatever's going on in the house.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you sleep that 4 hours, get that ass sleep in you. No, you stay in my room, I'm protect you. No, he with me. Because I know if you up, you're going to be acting a fool. And the kids look at you and be like, hey, thank you, coach. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. So that's what it's about, man. And that's why people don't even know that. I'm like, no, it ain't for you to know. But no, actually, to school, I enjoy it, man. It's fun to me. It's just fun. See, I used to be that same kid too, running around. Want somebody to pay attention to me, just give me a chance.
Yeah.
So if that kid needs a chance, that's what I'm there for.
Yeah. Coach, 2 hours in, and I think that's a wrap, Coach. Appreciate you for joining me. I'm probably post a few clips of this because I enjoy it. So I'll probably post it on Twitter right now. But man, enjoy your night, Coach, and man, appreciate you for coming on the show, man. That was some good stuff.
Hey man, I appreciate it, man. You take care, man. Like I said, anything you need me to help you do, especially if it's helping kids out, just let me know. I'll do it.
Okay, and I'll stay in contact, and I'll lock your number in too, Coach. Because I'm connected with a lot of these coaches, so we just never know what can come about.
You just never know.
Okay, take care, brother.
All right.